Good day, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. This is Viper of Viperland, and we are gonna start up the first trial. I call it the first trial because I imagine there's gonna be more than one of them in what I do believe is the final case of the OG trilogy. Oh, I left the Endwalker thing up. Hold on, I do have to shrink the chat real quick, or the game real quick to get that out of there. It was because we were actually playing 14. There you go. And you gotta cover the chat at 14. It's just the rules. It's how you do. It's what you gotta do. It's what all streamers do. So it's what you do, you know. February 9th, 9:47 a.m. District Court, Defendant Diamond number 1. I think I just gave her the same voice. Oh my, Mr. Luris feels that way about me. Apparently, sorry, no, this is Edgeworth. Apparently, he isn't aware of your real secret at all. This is no time to be embarrassed. I'm sorry. I'm just hardly accustomed to that sort of thing. Worry not, and in any case, whatever it was that he saw on the night of the incident, mark my words, I will drag it out of him. Does that mean Mr. Luris is the witness today? No. Believe that none will be the first to take the stand. I forgot her name was Sister Bikini. Yep, Sister Bikini. She claims to have seen the very instant in which you carried out the crime. I want to ask you one last time. It really wasn't you who killed Miss Elise Do Nothing, correct? I had to remember what I was calling her. That is correct. It wasn't me. Very well then. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes? You are a prosecutor, aren't you? Are you sure about this? If your true identity is revealed... Don't worry, I've made the necessary arrangements. I see. Iris, it is a prosecutor's job to doubt people. But right now, I'm a defense attorney. A defense attorney's job is to believe in people, and to believe until the bitter end. That's what my friend told me once. Mr. Edgeworth, simply ask that you watch and decide for yourself, whether or not I am fit to do the task I have been entrusted. Very well, sir. I leave my defense in your capable hands. Right now it's 10 a.m. District Court, Courtroom number 7. Oh. We have other judge. Just, does the main judge only show up when it's Phoenix? Is that it? That's Iris? Yep, that's Iris. Also, hey Queen, how's it going? Welcome to Viperland in the chat. Court is now in session for the trial of Sister Iris of Hazakura Temple. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The defense does indeed appear to be ready. However, the same cannot be said for the prosecution in this case. Indeed. I'm not sure I like such a blatant waste of this court's time. An empty prosecutor's chair can only mean that the prosecutor has no confidence in their ability to prove their case. I mean, it could also mean traffic happened, they're running late, something personal came up, they're sick. I mean, it could mean a lot of things. But, you know, I guess it's fine. It would seem this case is already over before it had a chance to begin. Cool. I mean, I'll take an easy win. Never that. That's never going to happen. Not for the final case. Excuse me. I'm ready to announce my verdict at this time. This court finds a defendant.
Objection!
Oh, well. Unexpected judge, unexpected prosecutor. The prosecution stands for... Oh man, I don't remember what voice I gave her. That was a whole game ago. It's fine. Just feminine, slightly angry. It's fine. And you are? Francisca von Karma. Prosecuting prodigy. Yeah, one of those is true.
Ramen.
Von Karma, you say? The return of the whip. Also, hey Ramen, how's it going? Welcome to Viperland in the chat. A chance you wouldn't be of any relation to the legendary prosecutor Manfred von Karma. Legends are a thing of the past. I am a von Karma, that is all. On a special request, I flew in today for the purpose of prosecuting this case. You did? Then you must be quite a big shot, eh? By the way, Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor. Almost certain that I've seen you somewhere before. Or am I just imagining things? You look very much like a prosecutor I met once. I believe you are imagining things, Your Honor. Miss von Karma, do you have anything to say? There is no such weakling as this man among those of the prosecutor's office. Oh, okay. Damn. There isn't, but I'm sure what's before in this courtroom. Ah! Told you, there is no such weakling. What is that, a whip? I'm not sure I care for such a thing in my courtroom. I don't think what you care about really matters right now. Bailiff, remove that whippet. I have no objection to the... Hold on, that's a save for later photograph. You don't. Prosecution can wield a whip or drink 17 cups of coffee. There's still only one truth. That is what I stand here to prove today. I have no objection to the whip. This promises to be interesting, Miles Edgeworth. I'd expected to face Phoenix Wright here today. But looking at you now, maybe this is what I've been waiting for all this time. Miles Edgeworth, I will not allow this chance to crush you slip through my fingers. I will not let this chance to blow my nose real quick slip through my fingers. Oh yeah, he's getting close. Also, hey Grim, how's it going? Welcome to Viperland to the chat. Yeah, Relink close, Infinite Wealth close, and then a month of time to play as much of those as possible before Final Fantasy VII takes over. And then other stuff. So you brought your flair for the histrionic. Allow me to add to the things I'm not sure about. People acting bizarrely in my court. Wow. A judge who's actually like, what the hell is going on? I can't believe this. Which implies that it's not all people in all courts. It really is just all people around Phoenix Wright and that judge. Waha! The stage is set. Now continue with the proceedings, Your Honor. Very well, Miss Von Karma. Please give an outline of this case. With as little whipping as possible. The murder victim is the famed picture book author, Miss Elise Do Nothing. Her body was found in the Hazakura Temple courtyard. She had been stabbed through the torso by a ceremonial sword from a garden statue. The sword in this picture is the weapon in question, correct? Very well. The court accepts this photo in the crime scene. Crime photo, edit a court record. There's no mistake. This was the doing of Sister Iris. After all, there's a witness to her crime. Very well. Please bring this witness to the stand. And so it begins. My first and last trial as a defense attorney. Sometimes it's the little jokes that get you. Witness, state your name and occupation, please. But hold on here. I'm not sure about being not sure if I care for this at all. Witness, please stand up nice and straight. The extra, inch. If I recall correctly, there are a few milk crates in the defendant's lobby for a back pain-plagued witness. Bailiff, fetch a crate for this poor lady, please. Once again, your name and occupation, please. Hello, me. Well, I'm the head nun of Hazakura Temple on Eagle Mountain. My name is Bikini. You got it? Bikini. Nice to meet everyone. This judge is just like, did I accidentally do drugs this morning? What's going on? You don't appear to be wearing a bikini right now. Ah! The courtroom is the garden of holy judgment. Those with lechery in their hearts should leave this sanctuary at once. You want me to leave? If you're an old lech, yeah. No need to get your bikinis in a twist. Let me tell you, I'm a sight to behold in summer. In any case, witness, I hear that you saw the crime take place on the night in question. That's right. I can still hardly believe it myself, to be honest. There's no way dear little Iris could do anything like that. Let us hear what you have to say, then. First, tell us about your own movements that night, eh? That night, I was helping an acolyte with her training in the inner temple, but, well, as you can see, my back likes to act up, violently. So, I left Iris to help the acolyte and returned to Hazakura Temple. There's no bath at the inner temple, you see, and I needed a long, hot soak. That was after I had finished, just as I was heading back. That's when I saw it! So it's simply coincidence that you find yourself returning to Hazakura Temple. Yes, you could say that. If my back hadn't been in so much pain, I would have stayed at the inner temple. Sounds like a pretty important statement she just made. There's only one problem with this testimony that I can see. And you're not about to fall at the first hurdle now, are you, Miles Edgeworth? Mr. Edgeworth, please begin your cross-examination. Oh. It's going to preemptively say, because I'm just going to assume I'm getting some of these wrong. But whatever. Maybe I'll actually see through the truth for once. It's happened. What is this inner temple? Well, see, conversing with the spirits is what we train people to do, right? We're the ones asking the questions, madam. In order to do that, a place strong in spiritual power is required. There's a small temple across Dusky Bridge called the Inner Temple. Acolytes must spend an entire night there to undergo intense training. And how exactly do you help with this process? It's all quite exacting and can't be performed without a nun supervising. Like a tutor, watching to make sure a spoiled child studies. Tutor with a whip in your case. If that's the case, why did you return to Hazakura Temple where the murder took place? Violently? That's right. It's no laughing matter, especially in winter. You can't hold anything heavier than a knife and fork during the cold months. Just being alive is like strict training. On the night of the murder, was this fabulous back of yours hurting again? That's right, raging like a bull in a pig pen. I almost fainted once or twice. Just knew that unless I warmed it up, it was going to finally finish me off. You left Iris to help. With what? What do you think? The Acolyte's training, of course. It was just past 10 p.m., so we were starting to enter into the training exercise proper. Isn't it your place to remain with a disciple? Well, the job is simply to watch over the Acolyte so that they don't pass away. Just to confirm this point again, that night, you met Iris in the Inner Temple, correct? Yes. She's a gentle, honest girl. She's never once failed to follow my directions. So you returned to the Hazakura Temple in order to take a bath. My back is to blame for everything. It's a do or be done in kind of world after all. How long were you in the bath for, if you don't mind me asking? My, what a filthy little rogue you are. I know what's on your mind. No, that really does seem like a very reasonable question, all things considered right now. But your next question is going to be, where exactly did you wash? Ah, this is why you have to watch the young ones. What are you going on about? I was... Pathetic Miles Edgeworth. The lowest of the Damn it, he's just as gullible, father. Is there some sort of kick-me sign stuck to the defense's bench? It's so nice to have him on the receiving end and him being like, what the hell? That was a reasonable question. What is wrong with these people? Anyway, I couldn't afford to be away from my post for too long, you understand, so... He never did get an answer, either. The crime took place in the courtyard, correct? You go from my room to the main hall. You have to take a winding hallway from which you can see the courtyard. That's right. In other words, it was pure coincidence that the witness saw the crime taking place before her eyes. There was no complicated setup in this case. That certainly seems to be true, except that can't be true because it's the final case of this game. I haven't seen Past the Veil yet, but I know damn well that there's like 9 layers of convoluted that have actually set up this murder case. There's indeed only one problem with this testimony. If I can clearly point out what it is, then I can begin to quantify just how good this witness's memory and observation skills are. say? Just to double check what we got. Crime scene photo. Doesn't apply here. Also doesn't apply here. That one, yes. Witnesses have to undergo their own trials, I'm afraid. The defendant's fate rests on their powers of observations and memory, after all. Well, 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 don't worry. I'm more than up to the task. I'm a woman of faith, after all, the head honcho of Hasakura Temple. In that case, Miss Honcho, I'd like you to explain something for me. The discrepancy between your testimony and that of the defendant, Iris. She claims that after ringing the lights-out bell, she went back and stayed in her room. Which means she did not go to the inner temple at all. No, she said that. A defendant or a witness who is more likely to lie, do you suppose? Also, Sora, how's it going? Welcome to Viperland in the chat. I got a message. I have to gently remind the person I commissioned for the dance emote, because I feel like it's been several months now. And that's fine. Like, I understand work, I understand holidays, I get it. I also understand forgetfulness. I understand all this. I ain't mad. But I feel like it's gotten to the point where I should at least be like, hey, how things been? Because the last I saw it, it was in a close to finished state. There were definitely like things to be like polished up and like color to be added, but what happened innocent until proven guilty? I like the concept of, oh, the witness is definitely much less likely to lie than the defendant, who we've already said did a bad thing. Innocent until proven guilty. Both of them are equally unlikely to lie. Speak on Carmen. The defendant is simply lying to cover her back. But that is completely illogical. The murder was committed in the courtyard of Hasakura Temple. Claiming that she went to the inner temple would make for a much better alibi. But that is odd. Whatever the reason, I can't believe that she would lie. She does indeed have honest eyes. I love the concept of, like, she's cute, she doesn't look like she'd lie. Yeah, sure. Maybe I forgot something. Would also be very funny, I agree. All people lie, that is my belief. Why am I the only one being whipped in here? That's not true. Edgeworth has been whipped already. Anyway, neither the witness nor the defendant have any reason to lie. Which means, you must call your memory into question. Dear, dear, dear. You're older than me and yet you want to play that game, do you? Well, that isn't exactly what My memory is perfect, crystal clear, especially in winter. Yeah, sure, I've been distracted by a very low-grade headache throughout a day. Low, objectively minor pain has distracted me from important things. I'm pretty sure crippling back pain might make the memory a smidge fuzzy, just saying. Then I suppose it is too early to end this cross-examination, eh? Mr. Edgeworth, if you are going to question the memory of this witness, you will need to show me a more decisive piece of evidence. Understood, Your Honor. It is naive to think that alone would do the trick. Then please add your comments about Iris to the testimony, and let us return to the cross-examination. Okay. Be sure that you're not making a mistake. You young men need to get your estimation of me up from the floor. Iris always wears the same clothes. The smallest thing out of place would have stood out like a sore thumb to me. You're making a mistake. Thinking I made a mistake. An excellent finish there, witness. Still, I have to wonder. Well, we saw it. It's gotta be that, right? Oh. Witness, let's get one thing straight. The defendant who you claim to have met, she was wearing this demon-warding hood, correct? Of course. That is a very important piece of clothing, I'll have you know. Well, ha 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 ha. Wait a minute. Hold it right there. Why do you have that? That's the question of the day now, isn't it, Miss Von Karma? Have you know that this hood was given to someone as a gift that night, before the lights-out bell was rung? What? You know where I'm going with this, don't you? If the witness had seen the defendant as she claims, then the iris she saw should have been missing this very hood. Well. They even show the box when they show the back view. Not a bad feeling at all, exposing contradictions like this. Now I understand that happy look on Wright's face every time he does it. Order in the court. Witness, you're Sister, this hood. You have spare ones around the temple, don't you? Spares? Well, you tend to make too many of them. I see. A stockpile, a surplus of hoods, eh? Each nun is only given one hood. This should be the only hood that Iris owned. This is quite strange. Well, there was a surplus of hoods, and she could have worn one of those. There's no contradiction here. Sorry to break this to you, Miss Von Karma. Well, you won't get away that easily. Discrepancies such as this will sow seeds in any human heart. The seeds of doubt. Witness, while I don't wish to call your testimony into doubt, you must give every detail with precision. I'm not sure I'm comfortable going along with this. Sister, you shall continue with your testimony. Tell us what you saw after finishing your bath, on your way back to the inner temple. The seeds of doubt are sprouting in the judge's heart. They just need a little more stimulation to bear fruit. Contradictory stimulation. Edgeworth, you really don't need to talk about stimulating the judge. I mean, I get it. This is all new to you. You're on the other side. You're facing the other... Don't stimulate the judge in the middle of court, please. Just, you know. Just saying. I finished my bath around 11. I thought I should return to the inner temple. And as I was walking back, I heard a noise from the courtyard. I took a look, and Iris was... Oh, Mystic Elise. Iris was... Oh, and with that sword of all things. Mystic Elise was staying in the corner room, which faces out into the courtyard. The stabbing I saw must have occurred after she was pushed out of her window. Oh, well, I already know the contradiction is there. Cool, alright. I guess. Saw a truly terrible sight, didn't you? If I was in your place, then it would be much like Miss Von Karma whipping Mr. Edgeworth in two in court. And me seeing it all from this very chair. Well, something like that. This judge. His imagination is about as vivid and creative as Detective Gumshoe. I would look the fool if I commented on such foolishness. Anyway, this case is mine, Miles Edgeworth. Calling everyone by their full name. Can't you do something about that habit of yours?
Hold it!
How far is it from your room to the inner temple? Let me think a moment. About 20 minutes on these stumps of mine? It's about 15 minutes to Dusky Bridge from Hazakura Temple. The inner temple is just beyond the bridge. Still, you never made it back there that night, did you? That's right. I was heading along the walkway towards the main hall.
Hold it!
You say you heard a noise. Thump. Just like that. That could only be the sound of the victim falling. You're right. A thumping sound could only be the sound of a victim falling to their death. There's nothing else that could ever happen in any building, place, location, or time that would also make a thumping sound. we should just assume that was definitely the sound of the victim. It's very quiet in the temple, you know. You can even hear the snow falling from the branches. Oh, just like that. But then, couldn't this noise you heard have been snow falling to the ground? Never thought of that. The next one to laugh gets a whipping. Well, whatever the source of the sound, I looked over at the courtyard and... This is the second time the witness has testified to seeing the defendant. But some doubt remains in these claims. Hey, just what does that mean? Just because you're a good-looking young man doesn't give you the right to. The murderer who stabbed the victim with the sword. Sister Bikini, try to recall exactly who it was you saw, as clearly as you can. Well, you're a handsome young man, so I'll forgive you. Now that you mention it, there was something awfully strange about her. Something that has been bugging me all this time. Please, don't keep us in suspense. Her hood. Her hood. That's right, it's coming back to me. Iris, she wasn't wearing her hood. Thought something was out of place, but it all makes sense now, doesn't it? After all, she'd given that hood away to someone, right? Okay, fine. So if you were running with the she didn't have her hood because she gave it away so she wasn't wearing a hood, then who did you see at the end of, like, we're just going to ignore the fact that you swear you saw? It's fine. It's fine. That's already in the past, so clearly why would we question it? Just don't worry about it. You're just adjusting things on the fly. Cool. You dug your own grave, Miles Edgeworth. What do you say, Mr. Edgeworth? Is this testimony important? Ooh, this one might bite us. I feel like most of the time, this may initially appear to put me at a disadvantage, but I can't see any other leads at the moment. Your Honor, I would like these new statements to be added to the testimony. Miles Edgeworth. If you want to hang yourself, you need only to ask. I'll gladly lend you my whip. Witness, add that statement to your testimony. I feel like, when in doubt, there's very rarely a time where it's bad to add something to the testimony. Even if we don't end up using it, options are good. No problem. You're sure about that? Yes, after all, we always wear the same clothes. Ah, I don't mean because we're poor, you understand. It's our style. Yes, that's it. Absolutely no need to explain yourself. Anyway, she looked different from normal, so that really stuck out. Like me holding a whippet puppy instead of my whip. At least then it might bite you and not someone else. Iris didn't have her hood on, I'm sure of it. Very well. Now please tell us about the victim, eh? The room the victim was staying in overlooked the courtyard, correct? Which means the victim's room was on the second floor. No, Hazakara Temple is a single-story building, but the mountain itself slopes downwards, which elevates the main gate side of the temple and the guest rooms in the back. To about the height of a two-story building. Let's see. The victim was staying in one of these elevated rooms, correct? Yes, I should know. I'm the one who carried her things to the room, after all. What makes you so sure of all this? Just like I told you earlier, I heard a noise from the courtyard, okay? Oh, just like that. One smart sister, I'll give you that. The autopsy report states that the victim's body was covered in bruises, indicating a fall, but didn't it say a fall after the fact? After death. Yeah, and the cause of death was loss of blood, not like organ failure or something. So like, I don't know. I'm no expert, but I feel like blood loss is a death that takes more than like a minute or two, more than a few seconds, let's say. I thought this was the piece of evidence that we're going to be putting here, but I might be wrong now. Yep, more than just a pretty face, especially in winter. I'm a woman of faith, after all, the head honcho of Hazakara Temple. Only two of them working there. What's wrong, Miles Edgeworth? No snappy comeback remark. Doesn't feel like she's lying. This is very powerful testimony too. She claims to have seen the instant in which the defendant stabbed the victim. The only two things I can believe in right now. My client, Iris, and my own abilities as a defense attorney. Why would you believe in your own abilities as a defense attorney? You've never done it before. Didn't have her hood on. I don't know if there's a thing... mostly is not useful yet. I'm gonna save, but I still think it's, still think my gut was correct. Even though they talked about it, I still think that goes here. Aggressive logic, that's what I'd like to say anyway. Oh, please do, my brain is something else, especially in winter. However, I think you are overlooking one thing. Miss Von Karma, would you be so kind as to take another look at the autopsy report? The autopsy report? The victim did fall from a height of 10 feet. However, this fall was after she was killed. Man, that's a rookie mistake, Von Karma. That's right, it says after death right here. The scene the witness claims to have seen is contradictory. If the defendant stabbed and killed the victim there in the courtyard, how did the victim then go on to take a 10-foot fall? Order, order! The victim was killed and then fell. If that is the case, then the victim must have been killed in her room, don't you agree? That's the logical conclusion. Yes, that's right. The victim must have been stabbed by the defendant in her own room, and she was then thrown out of her window down into the courtyard below. Were there any signs of a struggle in Miss Do-Nothing's room? She was stabbed with a sword. That would leave a bloodstain, wouldn't you agree? Well, Miss Von Karma, was there any blood? No traces of blood were found in the victim's room. Your whip has just caused traces of blood to be found in my glorious playoff beer. However, there was no blood in the room. You claim that... I'm sure there's no need for me to go over this, as I'm sure your honor is well aware. When a stab wound produces the most blood, very little blood is actually lost at the moment of a blade's insertion. If you want to talk about when the most blood would be lost from a body, that would be when the blade is removed. Indeed, the weapon's still in place. It acts like a lid on the wound. That's true. The weapon's still in the body, there wouldn't be much bleeding. Perfectly reasonable line of thinking. We have come to a conclusion then. The victim was thrown out of the window with the sword still in place. This removes all the contradictions. Does it, though? Order, order! I must admit that this is a probable version of events. I expect no less from Franziska Von Karma. She locates and takes control of every vital point. Seems that we need a clearer testimony from the witness. Remove all supposition in your part and tell us only the facts, please. Witness, please, remain standing on the crate. Don't go selling me short now. The weight of winter snow has bent me out of shape, especially my back and my mood. Sister, please give us your testimony. I'll give you a vigorous massage once we are finished here. The whip? Oh boy! Alright, alright. Way to get somebody's mood, I guess. Alright, 1 second. When I looked across at the scene, the sword was already in place. Thinking about it now, I didn't actually see her stab Mystic Elise. Ah, yeah, you know. You said you did, but it's fine. I've never seen so much blood before. That's when I fainted. You can't blame me, can you? And when I awoke, Mystic Ami was stabbing Mystic Elise through the back. This all confirms Miss Von Karma's theory. Von Karma strived for nothing but perfection. Putting together such facts is nothing for me. You should know that, Miles Edgeworth. Perfection is an impossibility, Francisca Von Karma. And I'm here to teach you just that.
Hold it!
At that time, excuse me, was the victim bleeding? Well, I was very shocked to be seeing all this, of course, so I'm not entirely sure. But I don't think I saw any blood, not then. I'm sure that you didn't. The weapon was acting as a plug in the wound. In any case, let's be clear on one very important point. Did you actually see the instant in which the victim was stabbed?
Hold it!
Think carefully. This is very important. It's Iris we're talking about here. I'm thinking for all I'm worth. No, when I looked over, the sword was already in Mystic Elise's body. May not be conclusive, but this testimony supports her theory. The victim was stabbed in her room and then dropped into the courtyard. I think this proves it rather well, Miles Edgeworth. I mean, to be fair, this also could absolutely prove the theory of he just saw her stabbed through in the courtyard and was trying to pull it out to try to help her in a panic. But, you know, fine. Like, all this does is prove that nobody knows who stabbed her and that Iris had hands on the blade post-mortem. That's all we know for sure, then. I would argue that this has decidedly made the argument more flimsy. So you're saying that you saw the victim's blood. That's right. Some of it splattered onto Iris, too. When the defendant was arrested, she was meditating in her room. And her blood-flecked clothing was neatly folded in the corner. I mean, people do strange things in a panic. What? Her clothes were blood-flecked as well. Seems quite conclusive to me. What should I do? Press this point further? Yeah, of course. Going back to your previous statement. You said that you saw little bleeding when the victim was stabbed. But now, you say you saw the victim bleeding. Well, I say that what I saw is what I saw. What did you see? Maybe I didn't see the poor woman get stabbed. I saw the girl pull the sword out of her, plain as day. Pulling the sword out? Well, it wasn't exactly pulling. It was more like it came out. Witness, you will add this statement to your testimony. Oh, is that important? More important than you can imagine. The instant in which the blade plunged into the hilt was smoothly drawn out. Smoothly, you say? You're saying you saw the sword smoothly slide out. That's right. The whole thing happened right next to the gold statue of Mystic Ami. Mystic Elise was on the ground and Iris was stooped over her. The sword was buried up to the hilt. Jeez, buried up to the hilt? When Iris stood up, the sword in her hand just slid out of Mystic Elise's body. It slid out from that gaping wound. It goes without saying that if the sword was removed, there would be bleeding. Yeah, nothing out of place here. that really the case? I can't help but feel that something about this testimony is very out of place. That something which couldn't possibly have happened appeared to have happened.
Hold it!
Was the bleeding caused by the killer removing the sword? No mistaking it. I remember it all clear as day. Don't you think that's a bit odd? What do you mean, Miles Edgeworth? Why would the killer pull out the sword? What? If all she wanted to do was place the weapons in the hand of the golden statue, then there was no reason to remove it from the body. All that would have accomplished is causing the victim to bleed unnecessarily. Your thoughts, Miss Von Karma? That's... Indeed, it is strange now that you mention it. We need to find an answer to this mystery too. Anyway, the witness saw something terrible, so what did you do after that witness? Also... I mean, I don't know if this is relevant, but like... It's only got blood on it up to a certain point. If it was buried to the hilt, and then you yanked it out... I'm pretty sure that's not the point they're going with. I'm pretty sure the point they're going to go with is... Look at that thing. That does not smoothly exit a body. Excuse me. Just like I smoothly hiccup. But, if we're going based on the art too, that also doesn't make sense. Now, on to what the killer did next. You saw none of it, correct? Well, I was unconscious. How long were you out for? I don't know. 10, maybe 20 minutes? A young man with a very prickly-looking head woke me up. By stepping on me, actually. Not sure I like that method of resuscitation. Well, I wasn't asking for mouth-to-mouth or anything of the sort. But I would have welcomed a more gentle awakening right about that, let me tell you. Shall have words with the offender personally. What did you see upon awakening? By Mystic Ami, you were referring to the golden statue, correct? Just stabbing someone with the... Shito, a sacred treasure is terrible enough, but to then make Mystic Ami hold the blade. Truly a heinous, despicable crime. It's easy to despise something. Anyone can do it. However, there is something that cannot be done so easily. Whatever it is, I'm sure it's doubly hard for you. Anyway, what is the problem? Exactly why would the killer set up this gruesome scene? Can anyone explain the reasoning behind it? No, I don't think I can. There isn't always a logical reason behind why someone acts. That's true, so true. In early spring, for example, I often find myself... There isn't always. The phrase might come in handy someday. There are too many unnatural elements in this case. Why was it necessary to use the stupidly long-bladed weapon from the Ami statue as a weapon? Why was the weapon ultimately placed back in the hand of the statue? If I can expose the flaws in this testimony, perhaps then I will begin to find the truth. It's gotta be that. It's gotta be the sword, right? I don't think we have anything else. It's anything to do with even our entire testimony. It's gotta be the sword. It's just a matter of where we put it, and it's gotta be here. Sister Bikini, you are a reliable witness. At least, I'd like to think so. But there are too many contradictions here. Well, what do you mean? You make it sound as though I'm a liar. But you're a handsome young man, so I'll forgive you. What contradictions are you talking about? In the scene that the witness claims to have seen, the weapon was thrust up to its hilt into the victim. Furthermore, the killer withdrew the weapon smoothly from the body. However, both of these are complete impossibilities. What do you mean? Please, explain yourself. To start with, do you think it would be possible to stab someone to the hilt with this? No matter how I look at the defendant, she doesn't appear strong enough for that. Doesn't appear? What meaningless dribble. I too may appear to be weak and frail. But I can crush men under my heel and make them weep, so should I so choose. The objection stands. I wept a little back there, I must admit. That isn't the only issue here. If the sword was truly stabbed into the body up to the hilt, well, just look at all the branches on it. It certainly wouldn't come out smoothly. But we also have the problem of the amount of bleeding. It's true that when a blade is left in a body, it acts as a plug of sorts. However, when the weapon is shaped like this, it's an entirely different story. The wound would be too large for the blade to completely stop the bleeding. But that's nothing more than conjuncture. Really? In reality, the victim was stabbed with a stupidly, complicatedly named blade. Even a weapon of this nature may still sometimes slide out smoothly and may still sometimes stop the blood loss. No. I feel like you get one or the other. If it was stabbed in shallowly enough that it could plug the hole and stop the blood loss, then it's not, like, up to the hilt. And if it's at a point where you could be easily removed, then the hole was too big for the blood loss to be stopped. There's still one more conclusive contradiction. You've still got more? This one is simple. If this sword really was thrust in all the way to the hilt, why is there only blood on the tip of it? Yeah, I got it. Okay. I'm glad he picked up on that too. Yeah. If this witness is telling the truth, then there should be blood along the entire length of the sword. No. Bravo, Miles Edgeworth. Raising this many contradictions from a single piece of evidence. All the other attorneys I know could maybe manage one, if that. But what does this all mean? You've proven contradictions regarding the murder weapon, but having come this far, there can only be one answer. That is, the weapon used to kill the victim was not the complicatedly long-named sword. What? A foolishly foolish idea born from the foolish mind of a foolhardy foolish fool. Let's examine this again. What was it that made us think this sword was the murder weapon? Well, because Mystic-Ami was holding it. Exactly. However, if you reflect on this, that is the only basis we have to assume such a thing. The impression left by the scene was just too strong. That is what influenced us. It influenced us to believe that the stupidly complicatedly long-named sword was the murder weapon. Order. Ah! So maybe the stupidly long-named complicated sword was not the murder weapon. Even if that is the case, it changes nothing, Miles Edgeworth. Sister here saw everything. She saw the defendant stab the victim with a sword-like object. She did not. She explicitly only saw the defendant remove the sword. He claims to not have seen the time of the stabbing. So you're making this up already. Judge? No, Judge, it's not true. It's not true. That's a lie. And it's objectively false. You dumb. Damn it. Your response, Mr. Edgeworth. If that is so, I would like the prosecution to answer the obvious question it raises. The obvious question? Yes, namely, where did the real murder weapon disappear to? It goes without saying that the police searched the main hall and the surrounding area. Perhaps the prosecution can enlighten us as to if a sword-like object was found. That's... Answer the question, Miss Von Karma. No evidence of that kind was found. Another mystery to throw into the pile. Trial without a murder weapon is a tricky beast. Excuse me, could I say something? I just remembered something, actually. Yeah, that's some convenience right there. So it's almost like you're changing your testimony as new stuff comes in. What is it, sister? I was just thinking, it's possible that just maybe what actually happened was... It was just over there. What exactly are you going on about here? Oh, boot here, sorry. The murder weapon, I mean. Maybe... I think I might know where the sword was disposed of. You what? Well then... I think we need to hear testimony from you one more time, sister. Possible. I do like the sister's serious face, though. What else? What else could this old woman have seen? Saw the murder at around 11 p.m. And after asking that it be reported, I went out to the main gate. And there I saw tracks that indicated the snowmobile had been used. It takes 15 minutes to walk to Dusky Bridge, but less than 5 using one of those. Maybe they threw the weapon into Eagle River and came back while I was knocked down. Iris could have done that. She can drive a snowmobile after all. Witness, please tell us everything you know right away next time. Well, I'm not in the best of shape. What with my back and my age, you know. Quite. There were indeed snowmobile tracks in front of the main gate. Here's a photograph. What? You couldn't have... Okay. A snowmobile, eh? I see. Well, it certainly is an interesting theory. Tracks begin in front of Hazakura Temple and run all the way to Dusky Bridge. Damn it. Of course they do. Why did you have a photograph of this? Why didn't you... Also, all you've given us evidence of is that the track started there. You should have had a photo of them ending at the bridge. Just saying. What is the thing you always tell us? Something. Show us the evidence. You showed us a starting point. They could go anywhere. They could end just off camera. They could just do a loop in the air. Who knows? You've only shown us one half of the thing you've claimed. But, you know, whatever. It's fine. Solves your pesky little problem, yes. The Eagle River's current is quite swift, meaning that it doesn't freeze over in winter, making it the perfect place to dispose of the murder weapon. Did she really go to the river to dispose of the murder weapon? Mr. Edgeworth, your cross-examination, please. Alright. You're sure about the time? Yes, I was worried about it after all. Why was that? Because I have a strong sense of responsibility, especially at this time of the year. The acolyte was being doused in freezing water at the time. I couldn't very well take it easy in the bath all night now, could I? So at 11 I decided to leave Hazakura Temple. The estimation of the time seems reliable, at least. Please continue, sister. You asked Phoenix Wright to report the crime, correct? Right. The one who trampled me. Seems she's the type to hold a grudge. There isn't a phone in the main hall, so I sent him to the bridge. Phoenix Wright. He didn't even have his cell phone on him. He had forgotten it at home, apparently. What a naive boy, as always. How dare he not expect there to be a murder somewhere where he goes? Not only do I always carry my phone, but I always have my whip in hand, too. I like the concept that means that she has to do every action in her life one-handed, because she always has the whip in the other, ready to strike. Anyway, I was really scared, and it was taking a while to get back, so I thought I'd go out by the main gate for a spell. As I recall, there was a snowmobile outside the main gate when I visited. That's it. That's the only one we have. It'll run no matter how much snow falls. Now, you're certain the snowmobile was there at the main gate when you arrived? Yes, of course. It was parked in front of the gate. So, she had already gone... Excuse me. Discarded the murder weapon and returned by that time. Not sure if this is really relevant. What should I do? Press further, always. Need answers to every possible doubt. The snowmobile in question. Was it still warm at the time? What do you mean, what do you mean? What do you mean, eh? What do you mean, Miles Edgeworth? Playing to a slow crowd here. It goes without saying that using a snowmobile will heat its engine. If it was still warm, then it means it was recently used. Ah, I see, I never thought of that. That's right, I overlooked that too. Of course you did. Then answer the question, please, witness. I don't often go around touching hot engines. However, now that you've mentioned it, there wasn't any snow on it. Snow? Yes, for some reason, only the snowmobile wasn't covered in snow. There wasn't any snow on it. Curses! Seems highly likely that the killer did use the snowmobile then, eh? How long does it take to get to Dusky Bridge by snowmobile? In that case, why didn't you use it yourself? You could have spared yourself some walking. Ah, there's a reason for that. Have you got a moment for me to explain? I think that's why the question was asked in the first place. It was about a month ago. I was driving my beloved little snowmobile, happy as can be. I'd fetched some water and was headed back when I went and crashed into a tree. The tree and my back both went crunch, just like that. Crunch. Crunch. I haven't been able to find the courage to write anything since then. Anyway, the killer must have used it. Here. Refresh our memory. How long were you knocked out for? Like I said, somewhere between 10 to 20 minutes. It's possible to get to the bridge and back in 10 minutes using the snowmobile. I have to concede that is more than enough time. Is that all you wish to concede, Miles Edgeworth? Well, it would have been possible, time-wise. One element remains out of place here. Oh, and what would this mystery element be? The killer's reasoning, Your Honor. Why did the killer do all of this? Why go to the Eagle River to dispose of the murder weapon when there are other methods? Too many unanswered questions. Your response, Miss Von Karma. Turning to me for help over the slightest thing. It's not help, it's your job. It's your job. It's your job to show how you say it's do you not understand? Why don't you think for yourself once in a while, Your Honor? What? She's over the top as always. Anyway, whatever the reasoning, the fact remains that the defendant could have done this. The murder weapon was disposed of in the river. Another point to me, Miles Edgeworth. Another mystery to feed the fire. Is there any reason to go and throw away the murder weapon? Luckily, there is surely a problem with this testimony. Now all I have to do is start poking holes in the flawed account. Okay, what do we got to work with? There is indeed no snow on it there, for what it's worth. I don't think there's anything else in there that goes against anything she said. Don't think that applies now. Yeah, I guess there was snow until approximately 10:50 p.m., so there might not have been... If it was like, that wouldn't help us prove it wasn't used. Also don't think that helps. Not helpful. Not really sure what to do where. Makes me think that there's something in the tracks photo, but... Well, there does only seem to be one set of tracks, well, snowmobile tracks, in the tracks photo. And if the snow had definitely already stopped by then, because it said snow till 10:50, then all this shows is that the snowmobile arrived. That seems a bit of a stretch, but it seems possible. But like, where were we even used? I'm gonna save, but my gut says there's only one thing of tracks there. But I don't like. This seems like I'm maybe showing the wrong thing, because it relies on the weather report too. I was wondering why there'd only be one set of tracks, because there should be two, unless it was snowed over. My gut says this, because it makes logical sense to me, but I saved because we all know how things actually work around here. Nah, I failed. Okay. For what it's worth, I explained my reasoning. I stand by it, even if the game is like, nah, you're wrong. Gonna try it here then. Ugh, did I just use it at the wrong flipping spot? Okay, I had the right idea, I had the wrong spot. I'll take it. Also, Ochi, how's it going? Welcome to Viper's Good at Court Romantics, the game. I admit this photograph proves something. It proves that the snowmobile was used on the night of the murder. You finally accepted the inevitable, it seems. Miles Edgeworth. However, if what the witness says is true, then why is there only one set of tracks? What do you mean? Iris left Hazakura Temple, threw the weapon into the river, and then returned. If this was the case, then naturally there should be two sets of tracks in the snow. Those from heading out on the bridge and those from coming back. You're right. You're forgetting one thing, Miles Edgeworth. On the night of the murder, it was snowing. The tracks leading to the bridge were erased by the snowfall. This removes your precious contradiction, now doesn't it? See, while she was at the river, the snow stopped, leaving just the returning tracks in the snow. What do you have to say now, Miles Edgeworth? Is there a flaw in her theory? Yes. This idea that the snowfall covered one set of snacks. Tracks, not snacks. Unless she had snacks too, but you know. Walked away, yeah. The tracks of the river were covered by snow. What a nice theory. However, Miss Von Karma, that is impossible. Never, Ochi, never. I did have a nice tasty lunch. I got a... While I don't like roast beef much, there's this like special season type that they've got at the grocery store near me lately. So I did like some of that, and some cheese and quesadillas. Like a little like roast beef and cheese quesadilla. Good lunch. And that's true, yeah. If you're gonna murder someone, you may as well like... You don't want to get hangry when you're on a murder spree. Would you care to explain why there was a rude index finger currently pointed in my general direction? A rude index finger. No need. The evidence will do all the talking for me. On the night of the murder, the killer went to and returned from Dusky Bridge in order to dispose of the murder weapon. The outgoing tracks were erased by snow, or so claims Miss Von Karma. Mr. Edgeworth, present your evidence to the contrary, eh? Evidence that the outgoing tracks were not covered by snow. Closing in with the knife, they just offered you a Snickers. You're like, you can live. Yeah, that's cool. Witness, please tell us again what time it was when you witnessed the crime. Like I said, it was around 11. Of course, this means that the weapon was thrown away after that time, correct? On that note, please take a look at this data. It's the weather report for Eagle Mountain on the night of the murder. The weather report. Snow started to fall at 7 p.m., but it stopped at around 10:50. Therefore, when the sister witnessed the crime at 11 p.m., the snow had already stopped falling. It is impossible for any tracks made after that time to have been covered up. I love the box. Order! Order! Very well then. It looks like Miss Von Karma's claim has been... No, it's not. It's Judge, just know your place. Stop! Too soon to be closing this trial due to snow. Miles Edgeworth, how pathetic of you to rely on the weather of all things. How pathetic of you to rely on facts and logic. Answer me this then. When is a weather report ever correct? As somebody who went to school to be a meteorologist for several semesters, screw you! No, you've got it all wrong. This isn't a forecast. This is actual data. forecast data, all weather reports have some inaccuracies. It may have still been snowing in the vicinity well past 11 p.m. It's true, we cannot be totally sure, eh? You too, Judge? You too? What? How did she pull that off? It had stopped snowing at Hazakura Temple when the murder took place. You need to provide conclusive evidence of this. And the actual weather report for the temple didn't set. From this far, there's no turning back now. Very well, I too cannot allow any doubt to remain concerning this testimony. You can't back down, can you? Such a perfectionist, Mr. Miles Edgeworth. Very well then, Mr. Edgeworth. Where is your evidence that it had already stopped snowing when the victim was killed? She has no snow on her, is my immediate gut reaction. It's not relevant. Yeah, I think that's the best one we got. So you couldn't tell from anything else there. And he specifies when the victim was killed. So I feel like crime photo is a safe one. Ultimately, it all comes down to one point. That being whether or not it was snowing in that courtyard when the victim was stabbed. That's right, but proving that is incredibly easy. If we want to know whether it was snowing or not, this photo will tell us everything. Of course, I am referring to the photo of the crime scene. Ooh, the just verbal, like, incredibly easy. As you can see, everything is covered with snow, with just one exception. That is, victim herself, Miss Elise Do Nothing. Why is there no snow on top of her? The answer is simple. It stopped snowing when she was killed, that's why. Correct. He doesn't. In other words, if the killer really did go to the Eagle River to dispose of the murder weapon, then in this photograph there should be two sets of tracks. Order. Just what are you... Just what are you suggesting, Miles Edgeworth? We're not suggesting, we're straight out telling you that she didn't use the snowmobile to go hide a weapon. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure myself, but this is simply what all the facts point to. That night, someone used the snowmobile to leave Hazakura Temple. When the tracks left, it can be understood that they were heading for Dusky Bridge. At that time, it was still snowing. Of course it was, because those tracks were erased by the snow. Then, when this person returned to Hazakura Temple, the snow had stopped. Thus, the return tracks remained. Can I say something? I don't know, you've done nothing but lie in the stand so far. This all sounds a bit fishy to me. What does, sister? There's only one key for the snowmobile. Furthermore, on the night in question, we know that the defendant had it. Really? The key was found in her room after the... Okay, fair. Which can only mean that night, Iris used the snowmobile to go to the inner temple. But Iris said that she never went there. I should probably press on this point some more when I get the chance. The sure as hell can't, correct. The snowmobile can't cross the suspension bridge, so she must have left it on the Hazakura side of the bridge and crossed on foot. Sounds right, but what's odd is, when I left Iris and returned to Hazakura Temple, I didn't see anything near Dusky Bridge. We already covered the fact that she didn't go to the temple. Nobody listens, it's fine. You must have just failed to see it, sister. Maybe when I made it back to Hazakura Temple, it was there by the main gate. The snowmobile, I mean. I know what I saw. It was covered in snow, too. What then? It isn't possible! Order, order, order in the court. What does this all mean? So then, what was the snowmobile used for? It wasn't taken by the defendant when she went to the inner temple. If it had been, then the witness couldn't possibly have seen it by the gate. Furthermore, it wasn't used by the killer to dispose of the murder weapon. If that was the case, there should be 2 sets of tracks in this photo. All we know is this. After it stopped snowing, someone used the snowmobile to return to Hazakura Temple. I thought a simple snowmobile could cause so much trouble. I think we've learned all we can from this witness. Yes, yes, I have nothing more to add. Told you everything that I know. But then, that still leaves us with the same problem. Only there was someone, a witness, who could testify to having seen the snowmobile. A witness, huh? Was there no one out walking, perhaps near Dusky Bridge on that night? I don't think that's likely. It was cold enough to freeze your ears off. Only an idiot would go out wandering in that. An idiot, you say? An idiot witness? Unless they had something really important to do. That's a shame. It's a shame nobody here knows an absolute idiot. Hold on. Something is coming to me. An idiot may well have gone wandering into that subarctic night. Your Honor, actually, there just might be one individual who may be of help to us. Really? You know of someone who might have seen the snowmobile on the night of the murder? Don't know for sure if he saw it or not, but there are 2 things about him that do come to mind, which are, first, that he saw something incredible on the night of the murder, and the second being, this individual that I'm thinking of went wandering outside on that cold night. In other words, he's our kind of idiot. Mr. Edgeworth, who is this idiot you're talking about? Can I say the judge? Damn it. Also, Godot is not the prosecutor for this case. Well, it's the butts. This guy must be a product of Jean-Luc de Leduc's Guide to Obnoxious French Painting. This is Larry Butts, a disciple of the victim, Elise Do Nothing. A student? Interesting. And why was he wandering about outside on the night of the murder? That's... I could tell him all about his designs for Iris. But it may cost us his credibility as a witness, before I even call him. He is, after all, an artist. He was perhaps searching for something in the snowy scenery that would move him, although I cannot guarantee that this is the reason. And so, this unfortunate, unreliable-looking man, he is very unreliable. What exactly was it that he saw? I intend to extract that from him right here in this courtroom. Summon this youth as a witness immediately. No choice, do I? I believe he is in the gallery for this trial. It will not take long to summon him. Very well. Larry, you may have escaped me yesterday, but today I'm going to get everything out of you. Court will now adjourn for a 20-minute break. Alright, we only lost 1 bit of HP, and that's not too bad, all things considered. And we had the right piece of evidence, we just put it in the wrong spot. And I stand by the fact that it could have worked there, but I get it, it's fine. Miss Von Karma, please see to preparing the next witness. Understood, Your Honor. Good. Well then, court is now in recess. I feel pretty safe saving this here. I feel like that's reasonable. I try to only save it on the top slot when we have like barely high HP, but I feel like this is a reasonable one. But honestly, like, other than the fact that I'm pretty sure the jewel on her scepter might play into why she was killed, perhaps, I really got nothing past what we've done so far. Like, I really don't. I don't know what Larry saw. Maya's still trapped in the other side of the thing. The bridge burned out. Like, there's so much. It is seeming more likely that I don't think not Iris. I don't think Bikini was actively trying to lie. But I feel like she saw some really weird things in a really short amount of time and kind of just remembered them a little off. She didn't really strike, like, yeah, her testimony changed a bit, but, like, it didn't strike me as somebody who was actively trying to cover something up. It was just, like, I might remember something weirdly if, like, that much was thrown at me at one time. Like, that's my gut for now, at least. I can only imagine Larry is going to leave us with some stupidly huge bombshell that's going to leave both us and Von Karma like, what's even going on? And we're going to have to go back and find more evidence. But I have no idea what that's going to be at all. I got nothing. Excuse me, Mr. Edgeworth. Not really sure what to say. Iris, we only have 20 minutes. There are two things which I need to ask you before we reconvene. Alright, I'll help you any way I can. First, about that night, you really didn't go to the inner temple, correct? The last witness claims to have met and talked with you at the training hall. Either you or Sister Bikini is lying. Mr. Edgeworth, it's just as I said yesterday. Excuse me. Until the incident occurred, I was in my own room in Hazakura Temple. Very well. The second thing, then. That night, the temple snowmobile was used in between the time Sister Bikini returned to the main hall and when she bore witness to the murder. Sometime between 10:30 and 11 p.m. that night, were you the one who used the snowmobile? There's only one key for the snowmobile. The only person who could have used it was me. So it was you. Why? What made you go out to the dusky bridge? I'm sorry, Mr. Edgeworth. Crap. Crap! Iris! I can't tell you about that yet. Yet? Not until her safety is confirmed. Her? Safety of the Acolyte. The Acolyte, huh? That, for what it's worth, that is a very important thing to have confirmed. You must be talking about Maya. Iris, look me in the eye and tell me the truth. Did you kill Elise Do Nothing? No matter who or what may come, I could never take a life. As I thought, no Cyclops. Very well. It's my job to get to the truth. It is kinda really useful to have that absolute confirmation of she is not lying about that. To just go, did you murder the victim? And know definitively that they are not lying. Something I set off exploding something nearby, causing an earthquake. Just dropped the murder weapon. Yeah, of course. 2 blankets not enough to say, well, damn, jeez. That's why you gotta have that third. I've got 2 main blankets I use, but I have like a pile of other blankets of smaller and fuzzier nature, like on like the far side of the bed. So like if I need another blanket, I could have like 6 of them. That would probably kill me. I'd sweat to death. You'll discover this for yourself soon enough. February 9th, 11:36 a.m., District Court number 7. Ah, that really doesn't help then. The heat in my room does work, and also this stuff makes a fair amount of heat when it's on. Which isn't at night, but you know, it retains it. Court will now reconvene. Miss Von Karma, where is the witness? During the break, a man was detained for suspicious behavior in the gallery. Suspicious behavior? He was sketching something, very intensely. Dare I ask what the witness was sketching when he was detained? To a terrifying woman, armed with a demonic face and a vicious whip. I want to see that so bad. I really want to see that. Can only presume that his intention was to capture your— Ah! Anyway, it's time to drag this pathetic excuse from an artist before the court. Lure used to do nothing. I hope you're ready. Get in here. It would seem that Whip is going to see plenty more use today. Oh man, if he gets whipped every time he says something stupid, he might actually die. Sketches in contempt of this court. Hey, ow! Hey, I was just— ouch! Tried to run away from the bailiff who's trying to hand you your subpoena, correct? Look, I'm nothing but a fledgling artist training out in the mountains. I'm only down here in the city because I ran out of green paint. Well, to use the technical term for the color, viridian. Larry, this isn't an art store now, is it? I know, I graduated junior high, okay? Look, art is all about working on the fields, isn't it? Working in the fields. Assumed you wanted to say field work, I hope. That's it. Thanks, buddy. It's kinda sad that I was able to understand his mangled train wreck of a sentence. I just happened to stop in here and found a wonderful new model. So see, I got nothing to do with this trial, at all. I expect all your faces to be red when you realize this mistake. Bright red. Or to use the technical term, Crimson Lake. Why, Larry? Ouch! 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 Stop your pathetic babbling and testify like a man. Refrain from whipping me, Miss Von Karma. Cross-whipping is as bad as cross-checking. Oh, why, Judge? Why? Witness, that was all your fault. Testify now. Wow, it didn't do much for me. I was at that lodge out in the mountains looking up at the stars that night. I walked to the bridge a number of times, but I didn't see us. It was just snowmobile. I didn't see anyone at the bridge that night either. The girl I was waiting for didn't show up. My t-shirt died on me. I'm all alone now. Aren't I edgy? Witness, please refrain from talking directly to the lawyers during your testimony. I'm just a nobody, nothing but a small, worthless man, aren't I? I mean, he said it. Why wasn't I asked for my name and occupation or anything else? Mr. Edgeworth, this man seems to have quite a severe inferiority complex. It's recently been the cause of numerous incidents. I think he's finally realized for himself just how much of a nuisance he's been to other people. Yeah, that's right, I'm behind everything, every case. Watch out, okay? Just touching me will make you eternally unhappy. Well then, let's proceed with the cross-examination, with no touching, thank you. We can delve into other details at a later time.
Hold it!
Whatever is the matter, Mr. Edgeworth? Ooh, that would be a little funny and a little sad. Because, like, the assumption is that, like, he really doesn't mean any ill by his actions. He's just stupid and kind of lucky to get away with it so often. That would really, like, change the fundamental of his character. It'd be funny. This one single statement is so full of contradictions. For a moment there, I thought I was going to collapse. So, witness, any idea as to where these contradictions in your testimony lie? Depending on your answer, I may stay my whip. Okay, give me a minute. Well, it was snowing that night, so I couldn't possibly have seen the stars. That rundown shack is hardly a lodge, is it? And even if the stars could be seen, it isn't like I was there to look at them, right? See? You can do it if you try. Ouch! Only one issue here. What you saw at Dusky Bridge. You like the Jar Jar Binks theory, yeah. That's true. I agree with you, Sora, but we have a different judge this time. He hasn't quite gotten dumber. He has gotten more Canadian, though.
Hold it.
Number of times? How many? Maybe 5 times? I went once every 20 minutes. Which means you spent almost 2 hours at Heavenly Hall that night. Oh, just apart. Yeah, his tongue will do the same thing, too. You bet. Real love is about waiting with your heart in your hands. Love, you say. It's this man's intention to summon the defendant to the small shack, using this blackmail letter. Blackmail? No, that was simply a product of overflowing love. You puffy, loosey-goosey excuse for a whimpering, whining wuss of a witness. You know what? I'll give her that. That was good. And it was better than her usual fool. She's expanding slightly. So what did you see? I hope for your sake you saw a snowmobile. You huffy puppy, loosey-goosey excuse for whimpering, whining wuss of a witness, eh? Well, you see. Being called those names doesn't seem to bother him at all.
Hold it.
Larry, you really didn't see it. Hey, no need to hit your desk, I can hear you. I didn't see it. Didn't see a snowmobile. Larry, say snowmobile for me, please. Snowmobile? You truly have nothing to hide. Why are you stammering like you've just flown over a cuckoo's nest? Shut up! What is this? I don't know. Don't ask me! Seems I don't need to start from a more obvious contradiction. Going to strike the blow that will finally get him to spill the beans.
Hold it.
Larry. You didn't meet anyone. That's right, because I've got nothing to do with this. And I'm just here to buy some Viridian paint, okay? Come on, I expect to see those Crimson Lake faces now. It would appear that simply pressing him isn't going to be enough, Mr. Edgeworth. Indeed, seems that he's going to claim to have nothing to do with this to the end. Don't want this guy to cost us any more time. I need to slice through his obvious contradictions to keep things moving along. Nah, the timing wouldn't have worked for that. See, like, we can't point out the contradictions in that one because he already did. His testimony is so flawed, it's hard to find the right hole to punch in it. He's just too dumb. Okay.
Hold it.
The first one is so obvious, but like again, he does it, so I don't think using the weather port there matters.
Hold it.
It's been over almost 2 hours. Also, hey Kane, how's it going? Welcome to Viperland in the chat. I feel like that's the only one that gave us like definitive. He was there for X amount of time, but I don't know if that. I don't know if that matters. He also didn't say when he got there at all. we know that he probably saw the lightning.
Hold it!
We know he can't say snowmobile without stuttering. More obvious contradiction.
Hold it!
It could be that. Maybe that. No, I haven't. This is first time. I had played the first game when we started streaming that one, so that was a recap for me, but the rest of it I have not played. Which is why I'm getting things wrong. Yeah, this is, I think this is the final trial. Then we're gonna do Ghost Trick, Phantom Detective, and then I've got the Great Ace Attorney duo lined up. So we got some good stuff, and I've been enjoying the ride, but I don't always see what I'm supposed to see, and I get things wrong. I already saved, so I'm gonna try the Note to Iris here, but I'm not super confident in that. I can't, like, definitely not, definitely not, definitely not, definitely not, definitely not. I don't think that has anything to do with this. Technically, the map might have something to do with something, but I doubt it. I just don't think so. Where the data would only apply to the first one, which he already admits himself is a contradiction. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, but it might contradict the thing we're trying to do. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter yet. So it's gotta be this? I mean, yes, at the end of the day, I do save because I don't want to start the whole trial over again, but I try my best to actually try to figure it out before we just go straight stupid shotgun approach. Because, like, yeah, that'll work. Oh, I don't think we have anyone... Instead of that, we could always present actual Iris if we think that he saw Iris. See anyone at the bridgehead? He would have seen Bikini at some point, right? Because she went over the bridge. You don't think that might be the... Because, like, we don't know. It seems likely Iris went to go meet him, but doesn't want to tell us about it. But, like, if he was paying attention to that bridge for that whole time, he would have seen her. I'm gonna go with Bikini. No, we lost points. Damn it. Okay. Well, cool. I'm gonna go with my other gut reaction then. Nope. And my third gut reaction was Iris. I'm beginning to think I might be wrong about this one. Cool. So those were the ones I legitimately thought. So, yeah, oops, the music didn't change. Yeah, we all know. Okay. I'll try the overly obvious show the weather report here, but I feel like that's just... It's too, yeah. He already talks about it himself, so like that's too... That entire statement is all contradictions. We can't do anything with it. Which means walked to the bridge a number of times. Didn't see a snowmobile. Didn't see anyone at the bridge that night. Those are the three we have to work with. It's implied that we can't hit that one yet because he's too nervous. Which to me means it has to be this one. But if it's not the blackmail letter, and it's not the two people who could theoretically have been at that bridge, maybe he saw Elise? Well, like, we have no evidence of that. It's like maybe he saw Maya, but we have no evidence of that either. He could have seen Phoenix making the call. But all of those are just guessing. Like, we don't have any evidence for any of those. Snowmobile's not helping. Also not helping anything. Not helping. Surrounding area. I don't think so. Did we end up seeing him as Phoenix that night? Do we? Oh, we might have. Yeah. Larry Butts. I don't understand why you might want to throw your old life away. You're pretty pathetic, and you cause all sorts of trouble. I'd say poor Larry, but he really like, Edgeworth isn't lying. I'm sorry, but having realized just how much of a nuisance you've been, that could be considered a step in the right direction. Iggy, are you trying to console me? It certainly doesn't sound like that way to me. However, I cannot forgive you for simply turning away from incidents you created. What? You totally pinning this on me? Now then, let us talk about the night of the murder. Sister Bikini, after seeing the murder take place, asked Phoenix Wright to report it. Thus, he headed for the public phone by the bridge. There, he happened across a certain nefarious individual. You, Larry Butts. That's right, me in the flesh. Listen carefully, witness. It doesn't matter if you change your name. So long as you remain pretty pathetic, you will continue to cause these incidents. That reality will not change. But what do you want me to do then? Larry, what you need to change is your inner self. But for now, what you saw that night. Testifying truthfully about this one issue is all I need from you. Edgy, I think I've finally woken up. Well, guess I could still be sleeping. But anyway, I'll do it. I'll testify. Well, I'm not sure this will go especially well. Ask again then, witness. What did you see on the night of the murder? Larry, man. I went to the shack around 9 o'clock, so it would have been around 10:30 p.m. I was lying under my bedding when a white flash almost blinded me. I looked out of the window and Dusky Bridge was on fire. There's still some thunder, but I went right away to check it out. That's when I ran into Nick. Certainly saw quite a lot, didn't you? So, what happened to the bridge after it caught on fire? It was like me after a 3-day stint chasing a girl. It totally burnt out, like, almost totally gone. I mean, trying to cross the burning remains is what caused Nick to fall. What did you say? Oh, don't worry, it's nothing life-threatening. He just caught a cold. I never know with that man if he should be called lucky or unlucky. Yeah, same, honestly. Now, Mr. Edgeworth, please commence your cross-examination. I like how for a split second she was like, was nobody going to tell me that he, like, fell to his death on the bridge? Are we just going to... Like, no, he just caught a cold. What did you do out there in the cold for an hour and a half? Well, if you really must know, I was busy being excited, I guess. Excited, dare I even ask. I set the meeting time as 10 p.m., right? But I couldn't wait, and I thought she might come early too. Well, it appears she didn't come at all in the end. That's how dates with Larry go. Because they never arranged to meet in the first place, did they? Shut up! Don't go picking my fond memories apart! Anyway, I was getting a little worried. I thought maybe Iris had lost her way, so every 20 minutes or so I went out to the bridge. But I didn't see anything particularly suspicious. Didn't have anything else to do, so I went back to the shack to wait for her. The light was, of course, lightning. Like, kapow! Like a slap from a Naomi. Honestly, a big bada boom. Or a little like that. That's more like a punch from Miranda. Witness, did you actually see the lightning hit the bridge? Well, I was a bit startled by the flash of light, so... Seeing that, what did you do? What do you think? I was burning up as well, from the fire in my heart. That's why you went to take a look at the bridge. Well, to be honest, it was freezing cold, so at first I thought, forget it, I'm not leaving my covers. But it had pretty much stopped snowing, so, I don't know, changed my mind. Not sure I care for the forget it attitude you had at first, Witness. You said right away, but exactly how long after the strike was that? The lightning fell, and then the bridge caught on fire. Maybe around 5 minutes? I mean, I suddenly thought, gotta go check this out. How far is the small shack you were in from the bridge? Hold on, well, it pretty much stopped snowing. Guess about a 5-minute walk. How did Dusky Bridge look when you got there? Like I had recovered a piece of my childhood. I mean, not even the bonfires kids make during school camping trips can compare. Well, should I press them for a little more info? So you suddenly thought to check out the bridge. Does this mean that you initially had no intention of doing so? Well, yeah, I guess it does. It was really cold. I didn't really want to go out there. If that's the case, why did you change your mind? I would like to hear your reasoning. In which case, please give testimony to the effect, Witness. My reasoning? Okay. Reasoning, is it? Thought I'd never get another chance to see something so big burning. We decided to go and see what was happening. That's right. Talking about a massive suspension bridge burning to high heaven. It's not something you see every day. Real specul... Like, really special? Can we really trust a witness who's unable to pronounce spectacle? Life seems to love hitting this poor witness below the belt. Well, my motto is to hit life back as hard as I can. Give you a few hits too if you'd like with my whip. Told me about the burning bridge yesterday. It's still something that doesn't quite fit. Looks like, despite his change of heart, Larry still isn't telling us the whole truth. Yeah, of course not. Why would he? Ever. There was another thing he could have testified on here. Larry, let me ask you one thing. What is it, Edgy? What's with the serious face? Why didn't you call anyone? Huh? What do you mean? Normally, when faced with a towering inferno, one will try and tell someone. There's a public phone right by Dusky Bridge, correct? Well, of course I thought of doing that. So then, let's hear why you didn't. Huh? Yeah, okay. A reason. My reason isn't that I didn't try to tell anyone, I just didn't have time to, okay? And a minute later. That's still time to use the phone, but okay. You claim to have arrived at the bridge at the same time as Wright? Yeah. I thought I'd better tell someone about this. But then Nick came up yelling about murder. That totally made me forget about the bridge. The fire was pretty much out by then anyway. What's this feeling? I suddenly have a terrible case of unease. It was after contacting the police that Phoenix Wright fell from the bridge, correct? Yeah, that's pretty much it, more or less. Told me about the burning bridge yesterday. Still something that doesn't quite fit. It's about 10:30. There's so much extra time there then, right? The murder happened... Well... We know there's more gaps of time there. The murder happened closer to 11. Bikini saw it and then passed out. Doesn't know how long she was out before Phoenix woke her up by stepping on her. The snow had definitely stopped falling, so like... I think what we show is that. 10:45. And around 30 minutes passed between the fire starting and going out. He said the fire was about to go out. It was like on its last bits. I feel like that's the one. I'm gonna save again, but like... There seems to be a time discrepancy, and the weather report seems to show it. I mean, there's definitely a time discrepancy, and a few things could potentially show it, but like... That's what it seems like. Oh, the music stopped. Oh, thank goodness. Your very existence being a contradiction. I'm not sure if you can grasp this or not. What the hey, Edgy? You make me sound like some sort of alien. But your testimony is conclusively contradictory. The problem here is time. I've never been the best timekeeper, you know. 3 minutes after Billy leaves on foot, you follow him on your bicycle. How long does it take for you to catch up with him? Terrible at those. This is much more simple. You saw the lightning strike Dusky Bridge, and immediately went to see what had happened. This is correct. Yeah, well, I wasted about 5 minutes first, but more or less. I have the weather data from the night of the murder here. According to this, the lightning fell at 10:45 p.m. You say it takes less than 5 minutes from the shack to Dusky Bridge, meaning you probably got there at around 11 p.m. It all sounds about right, I guess. Then Nick showed up and did his falling act. That is impossible. What do you mean? 11 p.m. is when the murder occurred in Hazakura Temple. Thus, Wright was still there, in the courtyard. There's no way that Larry could have encountered him at Dusky Bridge at that time. Ah, excuse me, I have an objection. You do? Benji, how many times do I have to say this? I'm not Larry. Yeah. It's not been proven that the murder occurred at 11 p.m. The sister only said around 11, in which case it could have been earlier than that. Watch your footing there, Miss Francisca von Karma. The slope ahead is slippery. But there is still no way that Wright could have been at Dusky Bridge at 11 p.m. And why not? It's clearly written here in the weather data report. It took around 30 minutes for the bridge to burn out. Therefore, the bridge must have been burning until at least 11:15 p.m. Means what exactly? Wright did not see the bridge while he was being consumed by the flames that night. In fact, he did not arrive on the scene until after the flames had died down. Larry, you arrived at the bridge at 11 p.m., but Wright did not make it there until at least 11:15. I suggest you stop hiding things and just tell us the whole truth. Now then, what happened during those missing 15 minutes? I feel like I just got brutally woken up by a toilet splashback. I guess I was still sleeping after all. Oh my god. Order, order! So there was a missing 15 minutes prior to meeting Phoenix Wright. I hardly see that as much of a problem. Yeah, not much of a problem at all. Really? The bridge is burning before your eyes, and there's a phone right next to it. Why then did you not report the accident? Yes, witness, why didn't you? Were you there simply to watch the bridge burn? And therein lies the problem. Even after the bridge had burnt out, he was still there. Staring into space, this witness didn't even attempt to fulfill his civic duty, That's what it sounds like. But this is Larry we're talking about, and even he is incapable of being so stupid. Which means there has to be a reason for his inaction. Edgy? I think it's about time I got serious with you, dude. I think it's about time you told the truth, dude. Just as I thought, you've been playing with us all this time. Listen, I'm going to tell you everything. Are you sure you want to hear it all? You're definitely going to still lie to us. You've never told the whole truth at any point in your entire life. Yes? I may really say it this time. Everything. God. Then say it. Very well. I have a terribly bad feeling about this. However, let's have the witness finally give us the whole truth. Now, this 15-minute gap, what were you doing, witness? I'm a do-nothing. I'm an artist. What do you think I was doing? Sketching in front of the bridge. I was whipped up into a frenzy of art. The shock and awe that I was feeling, I transferred it all directly onto the page. Before I realized it, the flames had gone out, and then he came running up. Definitely a lie. Oh my god, Larry. Suppose artists can be strange folks. That's right. I'm willing to sacrifice everything in order to draw the perfect sketch. Including the truth, from the sounds of it. Mr. Edgeworth, has this removed the last of your doubts? Not at all, Your Honor. One very large doubt still remains. What would that be? This is a surprisingly believable story, especially considering the source. So why did you think he needed to hide it from us until now? I intend to drag the reason out of the Also, hey, till the air, how's it going? Welcome to Bible Language Chat. Thank you for 67 whole heck months of resubscription. I'm doing damn good. We got a case. I haven't gotten it entirely wrong yet. I've only lost
Viper, how are you doing today, Viper
of my HP, but you know, hope you're having a good weekend, or had a good weekend. I guess it is Sunday, the last dregs of weekendom. But still, hope you had a good weekend. Depending on where you are, I hope you're staying warm, because there's a lot of coldness out there right now. And yeah, doing good over here. Yeah. You'll regret this, Edgy. I definitely won't. You might, but I won't.
Hold it!
Hello, Larry. My name is Larice. Get it right. Mistakes like that are what keep you from being popular with the ladies like I am. I don't want to be popular with the ladies that you're popular with, Larry. Just who exactly are you? I'm Larice Do-Nothing, apprentice extraordinaire. That's what he calls himself, in any case. Then you are an artist? If you... Oh, okay. Gotcha. Well, then I hope your Monday's been going well. Yet again, that's what he calls himself. Names mean nothing. There's only one issue I care to discuss. What were you doing? That's one in the series, but oh yeah, well it's Larry. It's just layers of Larry, and it's like you think you're peeling back like a lie and exposing the truth, but you're just exposing more Larry, and nobody wants that. Like you catch him in a lie, but like who cares? He's lied 90 times per testimony. He doesn't care. Sketching the burning bridge and everything that came with it. What came with it? Want to hear this from my lips, do you, Edgy? You'll regret this. That sketch of mine is... enough. Just take that ridiculous sketch of yours out already, witness. What are you talking about? I don't know what you mean. It does indeed appear to be the faster solution. I'll leave it to you, Mr. Edgeworth. And I do. I've got a terrible feeling that the instant the sketch is revealed, the entire world may be changed, but yeah, but if we don't see the sketch, we're going to go in a Larry loop for the next 9 hours, and I'd rather have the world shaken under my feet than stay there. So, let's look at the sketch. Larry, I wonder if you could show us your sketch, please? Well, even I couldn't have imagined it turned out like this. Really? You couldn't have imagined that we'd asked to see the sketch that you wasted 15 minutes on, not calling the police? Huh. Imagine what? That Larice Do-Nothing's debut would take place here, today, like this. Oh. Show it now. Okay, but steel yourselves. Oh, can't wait. I'm so ready. This is the world of Valerius Do-Nothing. It's a shame that all we have is the one clap sound effect that is definitely too enthusiastic for this. Way too enthusiastic. It's a shame. Well, so this is Dusky Bridge, correct? Quite a large bridge, isn't it? Your response, Miss Fun Karma? Yes, well, better drawing than I expected. Isn't it? Isn't it? I struggled to reproduce those flames. I really did. Yes, I'm sure you did. It's going to get ugly. No one has the courage to bring it up, it seems. This mysterious flying object. Larry? What? The burning bridge is fine. But what is that unfortunate-looking figure? You spotted that. Thought you might. However much I might want to ignore it, I can't. It's Iris, of course. Iris. I wish she'd taken better care of herself. We have to plan for our future, you know? What would have happened to her if she'd injured herself flying like that? That is the exact perfect response to that statement. It's funnier if I leave it there for a second or two, but I'm also thirsty. Larry, please, answer this next question honestly. Okay. He's never answered a question honestly in his entire life. Are you really claiming to have seen this? Are you claiming to have seen the silhouette of the defendant flying over a bridge that was engulfed in flames? Yep, that's what I saw. That's why I drew it. I'm an artist, a real artist. Are you high? The girl, she's really high up in this picture. What was that for? This is all a bad dream. I was hitting you on the cheek to test that theory. Please whip your own cheek from now on if you wish to test your wild theories. Anyways, no court of law will ever acknowledge that people can fly. Actually, there's some precedent for this. She was flying pretty high, my sweet Iris. She was about 30 feet above the bridge, at least. It was really something to see. This has to be some kind of mistake. Mr. Edgeworth, please bring the witness back down to earth. What? Me? This witness is your friend, is he not? Accessory to foolishness. Miles Edgeworth. Let's get back to the cross-examination. By force, if necessary. Mr. Edgeworth, I expect you to expose the obvious contradiction here. Yes, Your Honor. It's like I've got another reason to remember this moron. Well, what did you think of my debut piece? Excuse me. Get that thing away from me. Horrible sketch of what he saw the night of the crime. Now hurry up and cross-examine him. Just where did you see this sight from? Hey, no need to shout. When I was lying in bed in that rundown shack, the lightning bolt made me realize that the bridge was burning. I just watched it for a while from there, thinking how nicely it was burning. I never once thought, oh man, I should call the cops. Like, maybe somebody should do something about this only bridge as the way to get over to the other side of the ravine. I was just like, wow, fire, dude. Like, whoa. Then after about 5 minutes, I saw it. The defendant flying. That's right. That's when I decided to go to the bridge. I see. That all makes sense. Aside from the sketch itself... Yes, the sketch doesn't make any sense. Just need to convince the artist that his work is ludicrous.
Hold it!
You transferred everything directly onto the page, and that is the sketch here. Yep, sensational, isn't it? Or should that be scandalous? It put my mind at ease, anyway. It did. That's right, the reason she didn't come to me, even though I waited for her, was because she was trapped on the other side of the bridge. Could it be that Iris undertook that dangerous, desperate flight in order to reach me? No, it's really not. That's gotta be it. Alright, go me. Nice. Continue, please.
Hold it!
You forgot the passage of time to that extent, did you? Well, once I get caught up in something, I tend to forget everything else. It's true. It's always been that way. Guess he's not lying about that, at least. Phoenix Wright appeared at the scene after 11:15. He was drawing until then that dispels all doubts. Aside from doubts about his humanity, a big clue waiting for me in this cross-examination. His testimony does nothing less than mock the court. I'm sure that there's a vital kernel of truth hidden in it somewhere. It's gotta be the white hood, right? No, what it has to be is a save. Yeah.
Objection!
Larry, what did you really see that night? Not that I particularly care. In your position, that's just being irresponsible. I do exactly what I saw. I'll give you a whole $1 that it's the truth. If that is truly the case, then there is one thing that we can say for certain. What might that be? That the person who flew over the bridge could not have been the defendant, Iris. What? What do you mean? I don't understand. Ugh. Foolhardily folly of a foolish statement by an equally foolishly foolhardy fool. How exactly can you make this claim? Tell us, Larry. According to this picture, the individual whom you say you saw was wearing a hood, correct? Of course she was. That rundown shack is quite away from the bridge. The hood is what told me that the floating angel was my Iris. The hood is my darling Iris, and Iris is my darling hood. What? Seems there are bigger fools in this world than the one at the defense's bench. So does he actually love Iris, or is he just in love with a hood? Larry, there's something you need to be made aware of. On the night of the murder, Iris wasn't wearing her hood. He'd given it to Wright as a gift. Are they going to change the story now? Perhaps suggest it was Wright who took flight? What are you talking about? I think you understand what I mean just fine. Why? Why did Nick have Iris's hood? What? Angie, what's going on with Iris and Nick? Why you, Nick, you dog? That's the takeaway here, Larry. I do believe that this unbelievably mysterious sketch is destined to disappear, discredited and discarded straight into the garbage. Ow! What is it now, witness? It feels like I've been waiting 25 years for this very day to come. Edgy! Today's the day I get to completely stupefy you. What? What's the meaning of your outburst, witness? I hate to have to do this, but I have some definitive evidence. Definitive evidence? Iris did indeed come flying over the burning bridge, and I, Lurius, do nothing. She'll prove it. How? How? How could you prove anything? Your word is worth nothing. Your art is worth nothing. How? Didn't expect to ask this again, but we shall be needing your testimony once again. Tell us anything you know concerning the defendant as depicted in this sketch, and show us your evidence that this nightmare was actually a reality. Okay, hope you're ready, Edgy, because I'm going to feed you a whopping serving of pain. Why would you want to hurt him? You've been serving us a whopping serving of pain this whole time. Trust me. Yeah, that's true. When I reached Dusky Bridge, she was already gone. I was so worried, so I frantically searched all over for her. That led me to finding a beautiful crystal sphere, half buried in the snow. Fear that Iris was simply wearing a spare hood. After all, no one else could have lost a crystal sphere that night. Larry... Crystal sphere? This one! Pretty, isn't it? But finders keepers. That sphere, where did you find it? Let me see. Around here somewhere? Looks about right. And it was half buried in the snow. Yeah, it pretty much stopped snowing by then, but there was still some falling as I walked to the bridge. Court accepts this crystal sphere. That's mine, okay? I want it back afterwards. No. There's something on it. Oh my, it's blood. What? Blood? Crystal sphere added to the court record. I can't even imagine where that could possibly have come from. I mean, it could be from anything. And half covered in snow due to Dusky Bridge and crime. Has blood on it. You ready, Edgy? By tomorrow morning, you'll be calling me Master Larry. No. Nobody. Yeah, I like the sound of that. No one's going to push me around anymore. Didn't you want to be called Larice Do Nothing only a few minutes ago? So, we went to the burning bridge. That's right, to meet Iris. She actually flew to get to me. The least I could do was meet her halfway. But the defendant was not on the bridge when you got there, you say. Guess she went back to Hazakura Temple. She's a girl after all. She must have wanted to look her best. Larry. Must be lovely to live in the fantasy land of Larry's mind. Actually, it's so depressing that I can't even work up the energy to point. So what did you do next? So you searched all over for her. She was flying pretty high, you know? I thought maybe she slipped on her landing and got hurt. Hey, it's more than possible. Also, when I headed out to the shack the first time, I was snacking on a banana. I was pretty sure I threw the peel away somewhere around there, so you know. Can one guy really be this stupid? So did you find any signs of her so-called landing? Huh? I don't really remember. I kept on falling over myself. Kinda lost it for a while there. You fell over yourself? Yeah, the snow was deep and there was even a banana peel out there. Yup. There's stupid and then there's Larry Butts. Short of it is that you didn't find any sign of her landing, correct? Then what happened next? Can't believe that. Half buried. It was sitting in the snow, a little gathered on top of it. It was very hard to spy, actually. I mean, it was dark out, too. I'm impressed. You did well to find it. No matter what you may think when you look at me, I'm a pro, a genius security guard. I used the pen light I borrowed from my company to help in my search. And it sparkled really brightly, as if it was saying, "Here I am," to me. It does indeed look very much like the crystal sphere on Iris's hood. But need I remind you that she was not wearing her hood that night? Each nun is assigned their own hood, and they are assigned only one. I don't know anything about that, okay? And Iris is special, alright, dude? Even if she did steal a spare hood, I'll forgive her. This is getting us nowhere. Our destination for the day, it seems. However, this crystal sphere was found near the bridge. That is a fact. If it didn't come from a hood, where could it have come from? That's the question I aim to answer. Yeah, where could it come from? Could be in. Draw. I'll say, Hark, how's it going? Welcome to Viper Land in the chat. Yeah, he sure do. He butts. It's butts all the way down for him. Let me confirm this one last time, Larry. The reasons you thought that this was Iris are the hood and this crystal sphere, correct? That's right. My gut is never wrong. I met that old bikini the next morning, and her crystal sphere was still there, safe and sound. Indeed. She was wearing it in this very room earlier today. case isn't going to end without a fight. Exposing the obvious contradictions in this testimony will be easy. I fear that all that awaits us are further mysteries. So I think I know. It's gotta be that. It's gotta be that. It's gotta be that. Right? Doing it anyway. Larry, that night, there was someone. Someone who lost a crystal sphere. There was? Who? Who's the stupid idiot? Miss Elise Do Nothing, the mentor to a stupid idiot. The victim? I have a photo of her here. And on the end of her staff, you can see a familiar-looking crystal sphere. Hey, that's my photograph. Give it back. Ouch. A crystal sphere like that is quite easy to find. I have one just like it on my brooch. They look nothing alike. In any case, please take a look at this. This is the victim's staff found at the scene of the crime. Ah, crystal sphere. It's gone. What? 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 Just what does this mean? Anyone jumped or flew across the bridge that night? It certainly was not Iris, after all. She was not wearing her hood. More importantly, the crystal sphere found at the landing site was not hers either. That means the one who flew and dropped the sphere was the victim, Miss Elise Do Nothing. A fool alongside another fool on a fool's errand to reach a foolish conclusion. First of all, this sketch, which I prefer to call a scribble, is ridiculous. People cannot fly, thus it is rejected. You can't do that. I saw it with my own two eyes. And this crystal sphere, this is nothing more than a red herring. You honestly believe that? Give it some thought, and I'm sure you'll realize it as well, Miles Edgeworth. Elise Do Nothing was in her room at the night of the murder. There was no reason for her to go to Dusky Bridge. Therefore, this sphere cannot be related to this case. That is all. Miss Franziska von Karma. The only people who will accept that explanation are scatterbrains and clowns. Why are you pointing at me? The victim's crystal sphere was found near the bridge on the night of the murder. Yet you expect us to believe this has nothing to do with the case. That crystal sphere was probably thrown away at the bridge after the murder. After the murder? There's blood on the crystal spheres, isn't there? This naturally suggests that it was thrown away after the murder took place. The killer placed it there to throw the investigation off the scent, which is the exact same reason that he drew that ridiculous sketch. What? You mean I'm the killer? No, what? All joking aside, just when did this crystal sphere appear near the foot of the bridge? Unless this can be proven in some way, I refuse to believe this is related to the case. She makes a valid point. There's no evidence that Elise Do Nothing left Hazakura Temple that night. However, if somehow this crystal sphere can be proven to have been dropped before the victim was killed, then this case is going to transform into something else entirely. Your response, Mr. Edgeworth? Definitely going to ask me a question for a lot of points. I want your final opinion on the deposition of this crystal sphere. If it is not related to the case, then this witness who you called will have been nothing more than a monumental waste of time. Prepare yourself for some very appropriate punishment, Miles Edgeworth. Can I prove it? I prove that the crystal sphere was dropped before the murder took place. Sure. I have to, otherwise there's nothing we can do, so can I prove it? That isn't the issue. Just simply prove it. That's the only option, yeah. That's what he'd do. That's the way Phoenix Wright would do this. Your Honor, allow me to prove something to you. I will prove that this crystal sphere is a vital link into solving this case. You'll do what? That look in your eyes. You remind me of Phoenix Wright when he is cornered. That should come as no surprise. But right now, I am Phoenix Wright, and I am indeed cornered. I ordered you to present your evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. Evidence that proves that the crystal sphere was indeed dropped before the murder. The fact that it was half covered in snow, right? I'm gonna go with the half covered in snow. To be fair, I don't know if that means weather data again, but I'm gonna go with the orb because it says half covered in snow and we already... Nope. Oh, this crystal sphere was half buried in the snow, correct? That's right. If it hadn't stopped snowing then, it would have been game over. The snow would have totally covered it. That's all I needed to hear from you, Larry. Your testimony makes one thing quite clear. But what? Sorry, wrong what. What? When the crystal sphere was dropped, it was snowing, even if it was ever so slightly. Snowing? On the other hand, let us look at the scene of the murder. As proven earlier today, there is no snow on the victim's body. Therefore, the crystal sphere must have been dropped before the murder. What? Yeah, you know, you fell for the same weather happens thing twice, Francisco. I think you're slipping. On the night of the murder, the victim did indeed go to Dusky Bridge. And there, something occurred that caused the staff's crystal sphere to come loose. What? What could that have been? This sphere. There's some blood on it, isn't there? Allow me to raise a certain possibility at this junction. The real crime scene was near the foot of Dusky Bridge. The murder didn't take place in the Hazakura Temple courtyard. Only a fool would suggest such a foolish piece of absolute foolishness. Just who is the fool, and which part is so foolish, Miss Von Karma? Have you been paying any attention this whole time, Miles Edgeworth? The sister saw everything. No, she saw a blade removed. She saw the victim being killed by the defendant. No, she saw the victim having a sword removed from them post-mortem. It's not exactly true now, is it? To put it more precisely, what she saw was the murder weapon being removed from the victim's body. That's the same thing! That is very much not. No, it isn't. You said it yourself. That statement is the truth. The Dusky Bridge could very easily be the scene of the murder. The murder weapon was not removed, thus there was no bleeding. You're forgetting one vital thing, Miles Edgeworth. At least Do-Nothing's body was found at Hazakura Temple. On foot, it takes 15 minutes to travel from Dusky Bridge to Hazakura Temple. You mean to suggest someone carried the body all that way? Made it this far. The only place to take this is to the end. I just need to prove that my version of the events is also perfectly plausible. Now, if the defense is ready, the court would like to have an explanation. Please show us the method by which the victim's body was carried to Hazakura Temple. On that snowy night, there is one way that a body could have been moved. The snowmobile. As we know, the snowmobile was used that night. It was explained as having been used to dispose of the murder weapon, but it could also have been used to carry a body. Order, order! Ah! This is completely unacceptable, Miles Edgeworth. You've dug yourself into your own grave. What do you mean? The only one who could have used the snowmobile was the defendant. He's the one who moved the body. Doesn't that put a final nail in your coffin? You're too late, Francisca Von Karma. And in fact, the defense has proven something else entirely. We have shown that this case requires further investigation. What? Where was the victim, the least Do-Nothing really killed? Her body was moved, whatever for. And finally, just what does this image mean? Do you even need to think about that? Such a creature could never see the truth, let alone describe it. Okay, she's not wrong. This witness certainly sits on one of the lowest possible branches of humanity. Wow. However, he would never utter a lie that could hurt a girl with whom he is enamored. You know, I believe that. He drew this, so it is something that actually happened. The defense stands firm on this point. Edgy, thank you. That settles it then. I cannot give a verdict under these circumstances. Right. Seem to have fulfilled my part in this. It is just as I thought. Franziska von Karma, you make a wonderful partner. Excuse me? There was one reason and one alone for me being here. To expose the darkness lurking in this case and then pass it on to Wright. Really? That's what this was all about? You could have just told me that from the very beginning. Oh my god, then I wouldn't have had frenzy. Miles Edgeworth, I don't care about what you were here to do. This was my chance to finally grind you under my heel. A shame that your chance seems to have slipped you by. What a shame. This is all your fault. Such a terrible witness. You were an affront to all. She's not wrong, though. I demand satisfaction. Oh, he's dead. Okay. You killed him. I now believe that the witness's testimony relates to an actual event. However, there has to be some sort of answer for the questions it raises. Have his words here today been the truth or lies? Next time we gather in this courtroom, those are the matters that shall be addressed. I'm counting on thorough investigations by both the defense and the prosecution. The rest is up to you, Wright? Court is now adjourned. Yeah, he died doing what he loved. Kind of just being Larry. Lying to people, making things up, you know. The whole... Alright. Back to investigation. February 9th, 3:43 a.m. Hoti Clinic Intensive Care Unit. Uh-oh. Still up at this hour, reading through the trial records of a certain case. It's the first case my mentor, Mia Fey, had ever handled in a court of law. The horrifying truth that I refuse to accept is holding me hostage here within its pages. Dahlia Hawthorne. What I've read, I don't want to believe. What is written here? This isn't the Dahlia I knew. I don't know, they sound very similar to me. Very similar. After falling into Eagle River, I was somehow miraculously saved. But I ended up catching a cold that seems to knock me around the world and back. I feel dizzy, my ears are ringing, my throat burns, and my head is on fire. But I will recover. I have to recover by this afternoon. I have to meet with the most ill-tempered witness imaginable. I know that he will be able to help me with him. Somehow. February 9th, 2:43 p.m. Dusky Bridge. Right. Are you sure you're well enough to be doing this? You still look a little green in the face. Maybe Viridian in artist speak. Actually, my fever has gone down quite a bit. How's your temperature now? Only 102.2 degrees. Nothing to... back to Coughing Phoenix. Anyway, I read today's trial record. You weren't bad, Edgeworth. Pretty impressive despite the circumstances. We're not in the clear yet. The main point of contention tomorrow is going to be the murder weapon. Yeah. In the end, the sword with its needlessly complicatedly long name did not deliver the deadly blow. It means there must be another sword hiding out there that we don't know about. Another sword, huh? Don't you worry about a thing, pal. I'll dig up the murder weapon myself, or I'll eat my coat. Thanks again, Edgeworth. I'll handle things from here. Yeah, it's probably for the best. Actually, I was thinking about paying the old precinct a little visit. Something I want to look into. And that is our client's background. Naturally... You mean Iris, sir? I have the feeling that we've met before. All I want is confirmation, one way or the other. And since I probably won't be getting that from you, sorry, Edgeworth, I bid you adieu, Wright. Take care. Guess I should get moving too. Why? Do you need to be somewhere? Yeah, I gotta get to work on this bridge, pal. I'm rigging something up so we can get across to the other side. That's right, Maya's still stuck over in the inner temple. Don't worry, pal. As soon as it's all set, you'll be the first to know. Thank you, Gumshoe. No problem, pal. Just try not to give me that cough of yours, okay? Alright, I'm off. Huge sack who don't want to do nothing. Oh, absolutely, yeah. Hang in there, Maya. We'll get you out, I promise. But in the meantime, I've got to continue collecting evidence. Alright. It looks like it's ready to collapse, at least more than it did before. According to Bikini, Eagle Mountain is very prone to earthquakes. Which reminds me. If my memory serves me correctly, Edgeworth isn't exactly a fan of earthquakes. Yeah, that might be putting it mildly. I am so worried about getting a cold now. I mean, I am every cold season, but like, everyone I know in my family has gotten a cold at least once this season, and I haven't. And hell, most of my friends, no, one of my friends had a continuous cold for a while. Like, for a month straight, went from like losing their voice, to coughing, to fevers, only at night. It was a weird cold. And, knock vigorously on wood, across all the fingers, I've caught nothing. So I feel like either somehow I've gotten lucky, or I'm due. And I'm worried it's the second. It's a narrow path going off in a different direction than that of the main hall. Looks like someone's taken effort to write to Heavenly Hall on the signpost. Now it really is more of a dusty bridge than a dusky bridge. That kidnapping incident happened here 11 years ago, so maybe it's cursed too. Ozakura Temple doesn't have a single private phone line. There aren't any houses in the area, so I guess Bikini is the only one who uses this. I really wish I had brought my cell phone with me. Did you not bring it again, or are you reminiscing back? Heavenly Hall. Looks like no one's here. Larry! Laurice! I was sure he'd be hiding here. Guess I'll try again later. I'll move for now. We might need something there, but yeah. Come on, please. It's for art's sake, I swear. Only one guy I know who could be this persistent and high-strung. Talking about the heroine here, the heroine of my book. That'll make you famous. Enough. A fool's fool who foolishly accepts the foolishness of a fool's fool. Wouldn't you agree, Phoenix Wright? Huh? Me? Wait a second. I know you. You're, Ow. Your reflexes and mine need to shape up. My brain's frying like a sunny side up, and you want to grill me over a name? Fancy, you can't do that. Even as we speak, Nick's on the brink of death, or so I'm told. Whip a dead horse. Isn't that one of your American sayings? No, it's not, and I'm not on the brink of anything. Come on, Nick. Tell her, would you? Tell her she needs the model for my new picture book, Francie's Whippity Whip Trip. Oh my god. Larry, why do you want death so badly? To be fair, she absolutely fits the MO of girls who date. She is attractive. She definitely beats him. She definitely would not pay any attention to him at all. And she'd probably just get tired of him and leave and go somewhere else. So, honestly, she honestly fits the bill. Before you ask me to model, learn to give at least a semi-coherent testimony. And before that, you'll have to learn how to live a semi-coherent life, Larry. I don't care what anyone says. I'm telling the truth. I saw what I saw. She flew, I'm telling you. Whoosh. Just like that dude with the red underwear. I don't think I'm going to forgive you guys when you come crawling back to apologize. Here goes. It's amazing how little has changed with you in the past year, Phoenix Wright. Okay, first things first. About this. I refuse to help you, Phoenix Wright. Yeah. Wasn't looking for help, but you know. Have you been in Germany all this time? That's right. Extending my perfect win record, naturally. Oh joy, sounds like she hasn't changed a bit. Has it really been a year since we first met? Francisco was born and raised in Germany and became a prosecutor at the age of 13. The father was the legendary prosecutor Manfred von Karma. He had a perfect win record for 40 long years. But now he's gone from this world. I thought he was just in like jail. Did we kill him? I thought he was just in prison. Did we kill Manfred? I'm sure it's unimportant. Don't tell me you still hold a grudge against me because of what happened to your father. Phoenix Wright, you will fall before me, this I promise. But it will be for my sake, not my father's. Are we clear? Yes, Crystal. In truth, I was shocked. I came back to America with the intention of defeating you. Instead, it was my little brother who was leading the defense. Edgeworth. Come to think of it, Edgeworth was pulled into being a prosecutor by Manfred von Karma as well. Miles Edgeworth told me something very interesting, you know. He said this case has a special significance to you. Because it does. It's precisely why I am here. Your personal involvement will make crushing you into teensy-weensy pieces all the better. Probably the fever, but she's so openly hostile that it's almost kind of cute. Ow! No smirking. No whipping the sick. That foolish fool doing such a foolish favor for such a foolish fool. Edgeworth. Make no mistake, Phoenix Wright. I came here for one thing, and one thing only, to pulverize you. It's not like I thought you were here to bring me some cold killer X, you know? I went over the whole case file on the flight over. You read the whole thing? Yes, every last word of every last sentence of every last paragraph. All the ridiculous things you did make it a very interesting read, you know? Attempting to cross a burning bridge, did you even consider the dangers? No. The only thought in my mind was, I have to get across. A fool who doesn't think is more foolish than a fool who foolishly thinks. Don't you said he'd let me know once the bridge was repaired? Maya, she's gotta be okay. Just know it. Plus, I need to ask her about what really happened at the Inner Temple that night. Alright, bye. That was one long sigh. Sister Bikini? My, I didn't know you were here. How are you doing? You don't have to pretend to be in a good mood for my sake. I suppose I've made a terrible mess of things, haven't I? I let Mystic Elise die, and then there's Iris as well. Mystic Elise? Now that I think about it, An acolyte stuck in the Inner Temple. That poor little girl has gone missing, too. That little girl? You don't mean Pearls, do you? Yes, I'm afraid I do. She hasn't been seen since the morning of after the incident. Pearls? She's missing? Why didn't anyone tell me about this? I must be getting old. I think I seriously lost faith in myself. Talking about your performance at the trial today? You believe me, don't you? I'm not a liar. I would never lie. I know what I saw. I saw Iris pull that sword from Mystic Elise's body that night. I'm certain of it. At least I was until this morning. I don't see any psych locks, so she must be telling the truth. I'd definitely use $30 worth of Best Buy coupons on P3R. Nah, that's fine. I paid for all of Infinite Wealth with just money from, like, points that I got at work. It's not theft, it's just gift cards, you know. So why are you so unsure of yourself all of a sudden? You know that artist who testified after me? When I saw that man testify so fervently about something so impossible, I started to wonder if I had acted just like him when I was on the witness stand. Wouldn't take that guy too seriously. He's an artist, but all he draws is trouble, and nothing else. Both Bikini and Larry are telling the truth. It can only mean one thing. They both didn't see what they think they saw. On the night of the incident, you met Iris at the Inner Temple, is that correct? That's right, I'm sure it was Iris. Iris claims she was in her room at Hazakura Temple. I know I shouldn't have come back here that night. But because you did, Maya is stuck all by herself at the Inner Temple. I'm so sorry. The drafts in that place are nothing to shake a stick at. Winter is especially bad. I'll bet the training hall looks like it's about to fall down any second. Eagle Mountain has always been prone to earthquakes, just so you know. Earthquakes? Yes, I wouldn't be surprised if the next big one levels the training hall. Gotta get Maya out of there fast. But still, there's really no need to worry. That area on the other side of Dusky Bridge is isolated like an island. It's like an island? How so? Well, the only thing on that side of the bridge is the Inner Temple. No one lives out there, and it's surrounded on all sides by the river or the forest. I see. So a criminal would be trapped should they choose to flee in that direction. And as long as the bridge is out of commission, he or she will have to stay there. That means Maya could be stuck out there with a murderer and with no way of escaping either. Dear, yes, I suppose it does. Please, Gumshoe, get that bridge up faster. Curious about a few things, if you don't mind answering some questions. Oh, do you need to know my measurements for your investigation or something? No. I want to know a little more about the victim, Miss Elise Do Nothing. I'm afraid I don't know her waist size, or her bust size for that matter. Well, that's only 2, so you know the third? No. I'm wondering why she came to stay at a place like this to begin with. I mean, she told us herself that she wasn't here for spiritual training. My, you make it sound like this place is some sort of dump, Mr. Wright. Mystic Elise was here to soak up the natural beauty of Eagle Mountain, if you must know. There, you did it again. Sister Bikini. I noticed you always refer to Miss Do Nothing as Mystic Elise. Oh, yes. Now, why is that? After all, she's not here as an acolyte. We all address all our visitors as Mystic. It makes their experience feel authentic. You haven't called us Mystic Wright once. And anyway, she's older than me. You must respect your elders now. How do you know that? How can you say for sure that she's older than you? Of course. Okay. Seems Miss Elise Do Nothing was no ordinary visitor after all. And there's Pearls. She was with Miss Do Nothing on the evening of the murder, and now she's vanished. It's all got to be connected somehow. Why did Pearls have to get mixed up in this mess? Please, Mr. Wright, I know you're worried, but try to keep it together. Oh, man. My head's throbbing so bad it's killing me. Pearls, she was with Miss Do Nothing on the night of the murder, remember? Yes, but I have a temple to run, you know. I was busy preparing for the training. I didn't see the little darling even once after we'd finished eating dinner. The murder didn't take place right in front of her innocent eyes, did it? According to the detective, she hasn't turned up at her home either. Come on, keep calm. There's one place left where Pearls could be. It's the pentagram. I'm waiting for it to just be oops all locks. Or like just one enormous lock, like screen filling. Come on, Gumshoe. Tell me you'll be done soon with the repair soon. Oh, hold on, we didn't check courtyard. This is where Sister Bikini witnessed the incident. It's hard to imagine she was lying on the stand, so maybe there's some clues that have yet to be found. Miss Do Nothing staff. Definitely remember there being a crystal sphere attached to the staff. I guess Larry eventually found the sphere near the foot of the Dusky Bridge, but what was it doing all the way out there? The needlessly complicatedly long-named sword. It's there in Mystic Ami's right hand. But it was proven in court today that it wasn't the murder weapon. Given the design, it must have been used for some pretty gruesome things in the past. The main gate's on the other side of that stone wall. The difference in elevation is almost 10 feet. That's how steep this hillside is. That's also the height the body fell from, according to the autopsy. It's possible that Miss Do-Nothing was pushed from the top of the wall? They get quite a bit of snow up here in Eagle Mountain. Around here, skis aren't just for fun. They're tools for getting around. But the sled, now that's got to be for Bikini's own personal entertainment. I mean, hey, you gotta find joy when you can. The building up there is the main hall. It was where we were staying. It's kind of funny because it was built on a very steep slope. If you enter from the main gate side, these rooms above me are on the ground floor. Apparently, Miss Do-Nothing was staying in the corner room. Guess that's where she was pushed from that night. There are quite a few of these stone lanterns scattered around in the courtyard. Without the city glare to compete with, I imagine they would seem a lot brighter. Guess Sister Bikini must light them now, since Iris can't be here. Also, that is very clearly wood. That is just super clearly... You know, it's fine. At least this is. To be fair, the lantern might be different. None of that seemed to help any. To say, like, there must be a clue here. I feel like I'm missing something. We got the room. Got the wall. Nothing really around here. Nothing there. Yeah, maybe we're done then. Hey! What was that jarring, inconsiderately loud yell? So this is where you've been, keeping nice and warm, I see. Detective, have you finished the bridge? Yeah, I did it. Told you to let you know. Well, then I'll come along with you. And sorry, ma'am. No unauthorized entry. Access is restricted to people involved in the case. What was that? I'm involved, aren't I? You couldn't get much more involved than me. Well, yeah, but that's not what... Ah! Been a while, Scruffy. It's... Miss... Don Carla! And he's dead. Sister, please, leave the investigation to me. My. Well, you certainly seem to have everything under control. I'm on your side. I won't do anything you don't want me to do. It's your work to pin the guilt on Iris. What are you daydreaming about, Phoenix, right? Ow, that hurts, you know. Silence. I, Francisco von Karma, will personally guide you through your investigation, so you will follow me. Not seriously going to follow me around, is she? Well, time to go, I guess. Alright. February 9th, Inner Temple Gate. Things have certainly become a lot more hectic than before. It must have commenced with the investigation. Oh, Mr. Nick! That voice. Pearls! Mr. Nick. Mr. Nick! Yeah, Pearls always has to show up. So you were here, ever since that night. I was so lonely, I thought I was going to die. When I woke up in the morning and saw that Dusky Bridge was gone, I realized I was all alone. She was all alone? Must have been very trying for you, little girl. Ah, I am Francisco von Karma, the prodigy. There's no need to worry now that I'm here. You're the prosecutor who was so mean to Mystic Maya last year. Well, I don't like you. You're nothing but a little girl without your whip. And she can't whip pearls, right? Mystic Maya didn't do anything wrong, but you were so mean. I'll never forgive you. That's just speechless von Karma. Ah, it's beautiful. Wonderful. Speechless, unable to use the whip. I mean, she's gonna whip us. We all know that the next text box is her whipping the pants off of Phoenix. But for the moment, beautiful. It's like Pearl's words are getting under her skin. Get out! Why are you whipping me? I didn't even say anything. You didn't have to. The smile on your lips gave you away. Anyway, Pearls, weren't you with Maya? I'm sorry. It's all my fault. Huh? What are you talking about, Pearls? I Mystic Maya. Oh, well. Hey, wait, Pearls. She just ran off. Ow! That was cruel, Phoenix, Wright? To make a little girl cry like that is inexcusable. What was that all about? Pearls acting like that. It's giving me the creeps. Guess I'd better take another look around since we finally got the chance. Especially since something about this place seems different from 2 days ago. Well, those are gone. Phoenix, Wright. What? And would you stop calling me by my full name like that? Was this once a prosperous port? Port? Yes. That metal hook is a mooring post for boats, you know. Oh, that's an anchor for one of the wires that's used to hold up the bridge. I think the wire that was tied to this one probably snapped when the bridge burned down. I mean, there's no way there was ever a port all the way up here. Don't get smart with me, Phoenix Wright. I didn't say anything. You can see Dusky Bridge from here. It's an unusually long bridge, isn't it? I'd say it's about 20 yards. Guess the gorge is too wide to cross with a piece of rope or wire, huh? Therefore, no one has crossed the gorge in either direction since the night of the murder. A simple yet sound deduction, wouldn't you say, Phoenix Wright? I mean, yeah, I guess. Look at all the Buddha statues lined up along this path. Phoenix Wright. Do you think this is how many siblings the head nun has? Why don't you ask her the next time you see her? You know what? I think I will. And she'll probably slap you for prying into her private affairs. It's a weird smell coming from that incinerator. The door is also open, almost like it's begging me to look inside. Well, let's see what stunning clues concealed in here, shall we? It's empty. How naive of you, Phoenix Wright. But it's a bit strange, don't you think? Franziska von Karma. I seem to remember... There was snow in this incinerator the first time I saw it. Well, I'm sure that's unimportant. In other words, someone's been using it to burn something recently. Listen, Phoenix Wright, it's impertinent to call people by their full names. I was only copying you. Yeah, well, clearly she does not care. The little gate that leads into the garden says no entry on the sign, though. Come now, Phoenix Wright, what are you doing? Let's go in. It's half open anyway. What harm could come of it? But it says no entry. Don't you Americans enjoy doing whatever you like and then simply say whatever? It's got nothing to do with anything. And who told you that? Sign says Inner Temple. I don't know how you're reading it, but it's incomprehensible to me. Actually, I can't read it either. Feigning comprehension isn't a very good habit to have, Phoenix Wright. Nope. In the English version of this game, it all takes place in America. America. So yeah, no, the dub changes it to be canonically America. Whereas I am absolutely positive that in the Japanese version of this game, it super logically takes place in Japan. All of the dub with all the hamburgers, yeah. Yeah, no, the dub absolutely says that it is America. So it's America. Jellyfield Donuts, yeah, This must be the door that leads to the Inner Temple, where Maya Fey was training on the night of the murder. Yes, there's a solitary room there called the Training Hall. You could do some training yourself, Phoenix Wright. Ow! You're completely out of shape. I don't know how much more of this woman I can take. I'm honestly surprised he hasn't just keeled over yet. Alright, let's, go and see. Huh. That's a lock. What's wrong? Why are you so quiet? Maya, she was supposed to be in here in training, yet it appears she is nowhere to be seen. What's that? That strange lock. Wasn't there 2 days ago. This whole room is really giving off some strange vibes. Yeah, there also seems to be something on the... What do you think this yellowish poster is, Phoenix Wright? It's a scroll, not a poster. It's a picture of a woman who's actually... Woman? I don't see any woman here. It's a different atmosphere in this room since the last time I was here. No, not a different atmosphere. It's a different smell. It's Gravy? What's the matter? This scroll, it's been completely covered in gravy. Yes, there's a very appetizing smell in the air, but gravy is a type of sauce. So when you run out of paint, you Americans use gravy as a substitute, I see. No, no one does that. For starters, it stinks. This must be the gravy that we had with the roast beef on the night of the incident. But why would anyone do this? Why this scroll? Well, okay. Oh, this door. When I was here 2 days ago, that weird lock wasn't on it. These chains, it's almost as if they're guarding something inside that cavern. Never seen a lock quite like this before. I have. Seen locks and chains just like this before. They look just like the ones that guard a person's secrets during a psych lock. I wonder if this lock is guarding something too. Dark secrets in a dark cavern. What took you so long? Thought even you'd manage to get here faster than this, Mr. Trey. Prosecutor Godot! I didn't know you were here. Prosecutor? How come you didn't show up at the trial today? I could ask you the exact same question. Huh? But I had a cold, so that's something slightly more important than a common cold to deal with. The importance of which is something you have no hope of ever understanding. But no, I believe I have the measure of you. You're the very worst kind of prosecutor. What could be more important than a trial? Who's the wild mare, Trent? This is Miss Von Karma. She was the acting prosecutor in your absence today. Well, guess I owe you one then. But you can go now, Princess. It's time for the big boys to take the reins. Just who do you think you are? This case is my... Hey, Billy, know your role and shut your mouth. Can't stand women like you. I'm only going to say this once, Lady Von Whippingberg. Go home. Phoenix Wright! What are you hitting me for? You deserve more cracks of the whip than that, Trey. What? You still don't get it, do you? You don't realize that you've set something in motion that you'll never be able to undo. Something different about Godot today. Getting such a strong sense of something from behind that mask is. Is it anger or is it sorrow? You had some important business and that's why you weren't in court, huh? What was it? It's definitely coffee, 100%, yes. Uh-huh. Told you once before, but perhaps you don't remember. You see, Try it? I've experienced something most have not. Death. You died? Of course, being extradited from hell is a tedious affair. The meticulous regeneration and adjustments of all your internal organs is... Well, let's just say modern medicine allows us all to live to a ripe old hiccuping age. Even someone like me. So you mean that mask you wear is this ugly device? I promise it's not a fashion statement, my unenlightened friend. Without this, I can't see your frequently dumbfounded face. I didn't know. My eyesight's pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything. Still, keep this worn-out piece of junk of a body going with regular servicing. I'm sorry, but you say you experienced death. How is that possible? What happened? Why don't you ask him? Huh? Me? Yeah, Trey, you. You should know all about it. You know where my life ended. And who ended it for me. Well, Phoenix Wright, do you? I don't know what he's talking about. Although, to be honest, I do feel a little tug at the corner of my memory. I think I do know about how Godot was killed. It'll all become clear in due time. Isn't that right, Trait? Earlier, you said I've done something I can never undo. What did you mean by that exactly? The inner temple here on this side of Dusky Bridge is an isolated island. That's what Sister Bikini said too. No wonder, Trey. Do you know what the police are doing here today? What do you mean? It's searching. Searching for any trace of an acolyte who went missing. Missing? As leader of the search party, I can tell you this with absolute certainty. Mia Maya Fey is not on this side of Dusky Bridge. Huh? But that's impossible. She came here that night and... I won't say it again. Chances of her being here are nil. Excluding, of course, one very unique place. One? Where is that? Sacred Cavern, the entrance of which we are standing at right now. This is the only place that the search party is yet to explore. I haven't searched that cavern yet, huh? Be aware, though, that the temperature inside frequently falls below freezing. Even if she were in there, chances of her being found alive are slim at best. No. It means, Trite, that you sent Maya Fate. What do you mean? What do you mean we Go to hell, Godot. Yeah. We set this whole trip off. We found the news article. We brought everyone here kicking and screaming and forced them to take these training classes that they didn't want to take in any... You fool. If that's the situation, why aren't you in there with the search party right now? You must have blinders on, my equestrian angel. Don't you see the big lock and chains? The trick lock. I'm making preparations to open it as we speak. Well, Trite, once again, a woman dies because of you. Once again? What are you talking about? Don't tell me you've forgotten. It's only 2 years ago, after all. And the last unfortunate woman died because of you. It wasn't me. Do you know who that was? It's Maya Fey's sister. That's right, Mia Fey. Mia? You killed her. No! We in fact went to court to prove exactly who did kill her. This guy, I can understand how he's like, man, the Fey family seems to be dropping off the face of the earth whenever they interact with Phoenix Wright, but like, they are being murdered, not by us. But I can see why he'd be a little peeved. 2 years ago, Mia Fey was pursuing someone, a man. But she bit off more than she could chew. She made a very dangerous enemy. Yeah, and how was any of that us? Yeah, that's one case I'll never forget. But I got that guy, personally. Sure, Miss Fey's murderer was caught. And I won't bring her back. Yes, but why are you mad at us? She was murdered. By him. Well, no, but you were with her at the time. You and no one else. It's your responsibility. You should have protected her. What? You say Mia Fey was your teacher. Well then, I'd say you've learned nothing, Trite. You robbed her of her life, and now you've let her sister suffer for the same thing. What the hell is going on? Correct. We weren't even in the building when it happened, and we were basically dragged here kicking and screaming, other than somebody here had a resemblance, so we eventually conceded with a little less kicking and screaming than normal. Yeah, he's absolutely pinning stuff on us that is not on us. Also, hey Pots, how's it going? Welcome to Viperland in the chat. He is very much hitting us with stuff that is not on us. At all. If something happened to Maya here, I mean, it is other people's, okay, whatever. However, as wrong as he is, I get where he's coming from, because we kind of know, we kind of get it. I get where he is coming from, no matter how wrong and asshole-ish he's being. I kind of get it. But he is wrong, and he is being an asshole. I sentenced Maya to death. What is this peculiar-looking lock? Why don't we just break it open? It would be a simple matter of... I'm afraid we can't do that, Star Fox. This area has always been prone to earthquakes. The repeated tremors have weakened the foundations of the training hall. And the excessive force used to break the lock open would, well, let's just say the inner temple and the sacred cavern would be a thing of the past. Very well, then dare I suggest the obvious solution of opening it with the key? Sure, just show me where the keyhole is in this trick lock. There's no keyhole. That's right. An interesting puzzle, huh? The person who set this lock is the only one who can open it. Who was it? Simple. The accused. What? Iris? When an acolyte undergoes training inside the sacred cavern, the attending sister is responsible for locking the entrance. Obviously, the night of the murder was no exception. Maya Fey was to train in there. Sister Bikini did mention it a number of times, now that I think about it. She said that Iris was left in charge of supervising the early stages of the training. Iris, the accused, was the only one who could open this lock. I've arranged for her to be brought here now. Iris is the only person who can open this lock. Hope she gets here soon. Hang in there, Maya. We'll get you out. So, I should be getting back to work. Wait, Godot. How sure about Maya are you? There's no doubt in my mind. She's in the sacred cavern somewhere. It's the only place she could be. You better start praying. You better pray that friend of yours brings the accused back here soon. Edgeworth, listen up, Trite. There's only one thing I want to say to you before I go. I'll never accept you. Never. Well, you should choose your friends more carefully, Phoenix Wright. That's what everyone says. Looks like I don't have much of a choice. Guess I'll just have to do what I can for now. I don't think there was anything else new in here. Don't you dare open it, Phoenix Wright. Now I know how Maya feels when I tell her not to touch things. What a pity. It's full of nothing but old clothes for the acolytes. I thought we weren't opening it. I'm from the prosecutor's office. I can do anything. Yeah, you can do anything. Except stand up to a 9-year-old girl. Yeah, that was still so far the best part of this case. Absolutely. Look at those wafer-thin mattresses. I'm sorry, Phoenix Wright. Wafer-thin? Yeah, you know, thin, like a wafer. In other words, uncomfortable. How we describe things like these mattresses. I guess you must say wafer-thick or something back in Germany. What about these mattresses? Certainly not. Cool. Glad we got that figured out. Yeah, Pearl's calling her out with some good stuff. Oh, should I or shouldn't I? Sounds like someone's talking to himself. Where's that coming from? Yeah, I guess I better wash that off. That's what I'll do. No, but I can't do that. I'm a detective. Ugh, my brain. This is driving me nuts. Ugh. Something troubling you, Scrumpy. Please don't whip me like that all of a sudden, sir. It's merely a simple greeting, a friendly tap on the shoulder with my whip. So what's up, Gumshoe? Something on your mind? How do you know, pal? Perhaps you were trying to decide if you wanted to wash that off or not. How do you know, sir? Oh, yeah, I nearly forgot. You can't go through that little gate there, okay? You mean the one that says no entry on it? I, kinda already snuck in there. Is he trying to be clever or something? So what's behind there, Scruffy? Huh? Kind of garden. Like garden. Garden? Yeah. Anyway, it's under investigation right now, so keep out. Not telling you, I'm asking you, pal. You got me? Isn't it normally the other way around? Well, see you later. So, shall we adjourn to this garden, Phoenix Wright? Of course! What else would we do? Really want to know what Gumshoe was thinking of washing off. Well, let's go then. Oh. That seems unimportant, clearly. There's a strange feeling in the air. I wonder what it is. Strange feeling? Forget about that. What's that strange writing on the stone lantern? Ah. What are you doing here, sir? I thought I said you can't come in here. Don't you know, Scruffy, a Von Karma will always show up wherever there is a clue. There are plenty of clues to be found here. But... Well, we'll talk to him after we look at stuff. The heck is that? You spotted it, huh, pal? You kidding me? It couldn't be more obvious. It says Maya. Yeah, and before you ask, it's written in blood. You will answer all our questions now, Scruffy, without exception. Yes, sir. A couple of torches here. Guess you need all the light you can get up here in the mountains. Yeah, I was looking at those things, pal. Looks like they've been lit pretty recently. Recently? How recently are we talking about? Recently is the night of the murder. I was training here on the night of the murder. It's not unreasonable to think these things were lit up at the time, I guess. Well, this is odd. There's no snow on the ground here. It's almost perfect rectangle. Couldn't have happened naturally. Yes, it appears as though someone has carefully cleared away the snow. No doubt it was you, wasn't it, Scruffy? Huh? No, it wasn't me, sir. It's already like that when my men and I got here to start the investigation. If it wasn't the police, then who did it? Oh yeah, there's something I need to tell you just between the three of us, okay? What is it? Top secret. Can't tell anyone, got it? Understood. Well, when I was a kid, I got knocked out of the local wrestling contest, you see? I was so disappointed I just picked up my mouth guard and cried all the way home. Man, I got in so much trouble when I left it on the couch. Is that it? That's it! Ugh. Whoever cleared the snow away must have had a reason. Although I can't even begin to imagine what that reason could be. A little lantern, a little statue. It is certainly a quaint little garden. Oh. What is that huge bowl here for? Oh, I know this one. It's a water bowl, isn't it? Everything else is completely frozen over. The ice in this bowl has been broken. True. I wonder if this has any impact on the case. Well, I doused my face earlier with the water in this. I was getting kind of sleepy. Next time you're sleepy, you need only come to me, got it? Yeah, so that's probably all the clues we're getting out of here. So how's the Inner Temple investigation going? We have the best forensic team in the world working the place. Forensic team? And what was the outcome of this scientific study? Nothing! Scientifically speaking, the place is as clean as a whistle. It's simply not good enough, Scruffy. Do you think I'll let you get away with that? Uh-oh. Well, there were a couple of things that bothered me when I first got here, sir. That stone lantern in the surrounding area is not covered in snow, correct? They look kind of fishy to me, you know? Scientifically speaking. I got the lab boys to look them over. Results were kind of hard to say, actually. Guess I better look into them myself. About Maya. Oh, did Mr. Godot tell you yet? Yes, we heard. He's got a search party out looking for her, but there's nowhere else she could have disappeared on the side of Dusky Bridge. All we can do is wait for Mr. Edgeworth to get here, pal. Edgeworth? He's escorting Iris, the defendant, over here. We'll have to wait, since she's the only one who can open the door to this sacred cavern. Oh, I think Mr. Edgeworth wants to talk to you about something too, pal. Huh? Wonder what it is. Just don't be expecting any good news when you talk to him. When I spoke to him, Mr. Edgeworth sounded so down I felt like I was drowning. Sounds pleasant. Maya, so these letters are written in blood. Yeah, what's worse is it's the victim's blood. Huh? This is Miss Do-Nothing's blood? Haven't done a detailed analysis yet, but it's looking that way, pal. Most interesting. Phoenix Wright, I presume you know, don't you? Why Maya's name is written upside down. You know what? That was really bothering me too. But I just came up with the answer. The result of my own special gumshoe investigation. Really? Do tell. Well, on the night of the murder, that stone lantern was upside down. Gumshoe. Anyway, there's really only one logical explanation for this mystery. Miss Elise Do-Nothing wrote these letters herself in her own blood. You must be joking. That's impossible. The writing on the victim's blood and the other clues left behind, it seems pretty likely that this garden was the scene of Miss Elise Do-Nothing's murder. At least, that's our current theory on how the events took place, pal. What? So Miss Do-Nothing was killed here. However you want to look at it, that's what people are saying now. Then, what Sister Bikini saw in the courtyard of the main temple was... Well, what was it? If that wasn't the scene of the crime, what did she see? What do you think, Miss Karma? Surely a special gumshoe investigation would reveal the answer. No. But wait a sec. The bloody writing and all the other clues here. Someone could have easily set all that up after the murder, right? Sorry, but that's not an option, pal. Why not? How quickly you forget, Phoenix Wright. Ever since the incident occurred, this place has been completely inaccessible. This Dusky Bridge was completely burned out. I was overseeing repairs to the bridge the whole time. No one came over here before me and my men, which means that no one could have planted all this stuff here, pal. I can't think of a counter-argument to that. I knew it. I should have washed the blood off the lantern as soon as I got here. Why would you get rid of evidence? This really was the scene of the crime. Then I need to figure out exactly what it was that Bikini actually saw. I don't think we have anything new here. Nope. Yeah, not expecting much from there. We either missed a piece of evidence, or we need to go back and talk to Gumshoe. He's the only one we can currently talk to. Yeah, it's just him. Oh, time to just found close to Dusky Bridge, wasn't it? That's what the artist guy said, yeah. Right after the defendant flew over the burning bridge. According to his testimony, she dropped it when she landed on the other side. This crystal didn't belong to Iris. The crystal had dropped out of Miss Elise Do-Nothing's staff. And there are traces of blood on it, too. The real question is, what was it doing near the foot of Dusky Bridge? There's like a circus today in court. All thanks to this little sketch. At the risk of repeating myself, you really ought to choose your friends more carefully, Phoenix Wright. Okay, I know Larry's a bit out there, but he genuinely wants to help Iris, I'm sure of that. He wouldn't have produced this for no good reason. You're nothing more than a marshmallow on the inside, the both of you. That's one way of putting it. We'll make this, photo of the crime scene. It's really gruesome. All I gotta say is that the killer is messed up in the head. But it turns out that the super long, complicated named sword thing wasn't even the murder weapon. So then, why would someone stab it into the victim like that? That's the mystery we're here to solve. Nothing on that one, that's fine. Nothing on that one. Okay. That staff belonged to the victim. Yeah, and apart from the crystal missing from the top, there's nothing wrong with it. Oh, I just remembered something important. This is just between us, okay? Is it going to have anything to do with the case, Detective? Well, no, but it's really that I'm not interested. Yes, sir. I won't follow the ins and outs of it, but it turned out that this wasn't the murder weapon, right? What Sister Bikini saw is right, then no, it's not. She said the murder weapon was thrust into the victim up to the hilt, but the bloodstains on this aren't consistent with her story. Don't worry, pal. I'll cover the real murder weapon. If I haven't turned it up by spring, you can take my badge. Case will be long over by then, Gumshoe. Nothing on the weather, don't know what I expected. Nothing on the hood. She sure was a mysterious person. Her real name, her past, it's all a complete mystery. Still, it strikes me as odd. Why would someone who wishes to remain anonymous become an author? You know what probably happened? Bet she didn't know her books were going to be such a success, that's what I think. You know anything about this scroll, Detective? Well, I know it smells great. Yeah, this is just the kind of weather for some steaming mashed potatoes and gravy. I really love that stuff. I eat it so much. Ah, you have nothing else to say about this than your inane ramblings about gravy. Oh, really? Let's leave it at that, okay? Nothing about the map. Nothing about the magazine article. I don't know what I thought about that. Check the people. I haven't seen Mr. Edgeworth for about a year. Talk about a long time. Do you know why you moved overseas? I don't know. Probably a little cool. There's a lot of weight attached to doing research overseas, you know? Once I've done my stint in Paris, you'll have to call me Monsieur... Monsieur. People really don't get Edgeworth, do they? It's his own fault for not explaining anything about himself. Wow, what a beauty, huh? Ah, what's that long pause for, Scruffy? That's a real nice brooch she's got, too. Ah, come she needs to learn how to give compliments faster than Francisca gives the lashes. He was Mr. Least Do-Nothing's apprentice, or so I heard. Well, suppose you could call him that. The guy drew a portrait of me, you know? Well, lucky for you, I suppose. That's pretty awful. You're not really enthused about this guy either, huh? Well, he made a mockery of the court today. I'm almost sure he did it on purpose, too. I don't know, I'm not so sure anymore. Clues we found today have turned this case all topsy-turvy. Can't see how Iris could have done it now. Oh, how interesting, Scruffy. Sadly, I don't share the same sentiment. Prepare yourself well for tomorrow, Phoenix Wright. Why does every prosecutor want to burn me at the stake so badly? Okay, so that's the same as showing the picture. She's a sweet old lady. She doesn't look like the lying type to me. There was a problem with her testimony, wasn't there? Yeah, but I don't think it was her fault. She was just trying to say the right thing, and it came out wrong, that's all. I know what it's like. Happens to me all the time. For a detective, you're completely lacking in powers of observation. Hey, you want to hear something, pal? Come on, I know you do. Maggie says she's going to buy me a new coat. Really? That's great. Yeah, I think it's to say thanks for helping her out during the last case. Which means I can finally chuck out this stinky, sweat-soaked rag. You mean you don't have any special attachments to that coat? After all the effort I took to mail it back to you from Germany. Well, I'll be sure to take good care of it once it's retired, sir. That guy's got more mysteries than a choose-your-own escapade book, pal. Yeah, I know. Trust me, I already know. Can't believe he skipped the trial like that without even getting permission. He'd have been fired for sure if he worked for a normal company. I would have expected the prosecutor's office to be so lax. Don't get the wrong impression, Phoenix Wright. More importantly, doesn't it strike you as odd that the police are unaware of that man's medical situation? Yeah, why is he hiding that from everyone? Additionally, it raises another question. Why did he choose to tell only you? Yeah, why did he? Apparently, the girl was trapped over here since the night of the murder. Did she say anything to you about Maya? She wouldn't tell me. She's not going to tell me something if she wouldn't even speak to you, pal. She was real upset. She wouldn't stop crying. Phoenix, right, look sharp and go comfort that poor young girl. I will, trust me, I will. She cross-examined me once, you know? Yeah, that was us, the big guns locking horns. Witness versus lawyer is a battle of cunning tactics and tricks, but the witness isn't supposed to play any tricks. Can't believe she's gone. The situation hasn't changed. We still don't know anything about Maya's whereabouts. She's got to be in the sacred cavern, though. That's the only place left. It's real cold in there. We gotta get her out faster. It could be bad, pal. What are you talking about? We're already on it. You couldn't get any faster response from a computer. Mr. Godot put everything in place right away. That guy doesn't mess around. No. Yeah, coffee-drinking mystery man who didn't show in court. Gotta say, he's totally made me rethink my perception of him, pal. Is there anything new to talk about? No. Then that means we must have... Oh, I mean, thought I hovered over that already. There's a charm or something poking out from the snow. Looks pretty old. There's a leather cord tied to it, too. Apparently it belonged to the victim. Miss Elise Do-Nothing. Yeah, there was a broken leather cord around the lady's neck. The ends of the cords found on both the victim and this charm match exactly. Sounds to me like this little trinket is going to be my ticket to getting some very big answers. Okay. I must have just hovered near it and it still showed like it was good. I doubt it, but that thing must have been worn by the victim. There's no other way of looking at it. You mean because of the matching leather cord found around the victim's neck? Yeah, but it was one of those things she always wore. Got this safe driving charm I've been wearing for over a year now. If you ever get into an accident, guarantees it'll be the other guy's fault. Isn't it supposed to stop you from having an accident in the first place? Okay. I'm gonna assume that we don't need anything in here, but also, yeah. So now I'm assuming something will happen. Unless we miss something else. There we go. Seems you have a visitor. Mr. Wright. Iris, I'm really glad to see you. The Doe managed to mobilize the police by claiming a state of emergency. Not him again. Never mind him. We gotta hurry and unlock the sacred cavern. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. It's my fault someone so important to you is locked in there. Mr. Edgeworth, can we finish our conversation later? Right. Let's hurry to the inner temple then. I'll see you later, Wright. Wait, Edgeworth, I'm coming with you guys. Sorry, Wright. I can't allow you to come with us. What? I hate to be the one to break it to you, but my FA is in a rather delicate position. What do you mean by delicate position? This isn't simply a rescue operation, Wright? It's also an investigation. That being the case, we can't allow members of the public to interfere. Come on, Edgeworth. If anything happens, you'll be the first to know. Please understand, Wright. But it's Maya, Mr. Wright. All that matters is that Mystic Maya is rescued, correct? Listen to the voice of reason for change, Phoenix Wright. Well, yeah, because you're going to get to go. From now on, consider anything beyond Dusky Bridge to be off limits. We're going now. Excuse us. This is no time to be standing around, Phoenix Wright. Aren't there other things that demand your attention? She's right. Thanks for reminding me. Sister Bikini looks like she's shrunk some since I last saw her. Be so rude, Phoenix Wright. What's wrong, Sister Bikini? My. Hello, you two. How are you doing? Sound of that sigh, I guess she's still pretty down. Iris was just here, you know. She was accompanied by that handsome crimson-clad prince. What's he talking about, Edgeworth? It's just a courtesy call. I wasn't allowed to talk with her at all. Oh dear, it's all my fault that this has happened. Poor Iris. She was worried about my back, would you believe? What have I done to her? Only what you had to, sister. You bravely and truthfully testified about what you saw. There's no shame in that. And we'll see to it that your testimony wasn't made in vain. Well, I don't hear anyone else saying that. Mr. Blue Suit doesn't seem to share your opinion, I see. Huh? Me? Ah! Oh, yes. You did great, Sister Bikini. Absolutely spectacular. You two are the only ones who have said that to me. I can't shake the feeling that I just became a shill to a shrew. Do you have a problem, Phoenix Wright? Sure, she was brave to testify so truthfully like that, but I know she's still hiding something. Guess it's time to break those psych locks of hers. Is it? Sure. That's a lot of locks. Sister Bikini, the truth is becoming increasingly clear to me. I'm convinced that Miss Elise Do-Nothing had a special significance to this temple. As to why she had a special significance, I believe it has to do with her true identity. What on earth are you talking about? She was... Mystic Elise was an author, just an author of picture books. To be honest, I had my suspicions almost immediately after I met her. Suspicions? Yes, but I didn't have any evidence to support my theory, though. But now I do. This piece of evidence proves Miss... It's gotta be that. Well, Sister Bikini, what do you have to say about now? Of course. Don't know why it didn't hit me before. Your heart, it's impure. Okay. Oh. Never mind. It's the way more obvious one. Yeah. The way more obvious. Miss Do-Nothing had this charm with her at all times. Ah, where did you... This isn't some cheap good luck charm either. But then, what do you think it is, Mr. Wright? What could a talisman like that possibly mean? It's a talisman, is it? Interesting. Oops. This thing speaks volumes about who Miss Do-Nothing really was. This talisman and one other item unequivocally prove Miss Do-Nothing's true identity. Now is it this? Thank you. Painting is obscured by this gravy stain at the moment. This scroll shows the master of the Korean channeling technique. The crest at the top is a sign of that honorable title. The very same crest that adorns this talisman with the victim carried with her. Ah! This crest is reserved for the master of Korean. Who on earth told you that nonsense? I've got no idea what you're talking about. The new master, Maya Fey, told me. What? You mean that acolyte is Misty Fey's daughter? Yes. Are you sure? Yes. In fact, since her eldest daughter passed away, Maya is Misty Fey's sole successor. Mystic Misty. Oh, jeez. Okay. Welp. Mystic Elise graced us with her presence about a week ago. When she showed me the talisman with that mark on it, well, I nearly fainted. No one had seen her since she disappeared 17 years ago, after all. What is the significance of this talisman? The Korean talisman is the symbol of the master of Korean. The bearer must carry it with them always until their death. So Elise Do-Nothing was really Maya's mother, huh? It was Misty Fey, the master of the Korean channeling technique. Truth comes out at last. It looks like we're making some headway here. Man, the Fey family just cannot get a break. Tell me, sister. After 17 years, why did she choose to show herself now? Did something happen that called her out of hiding? What happened? Well... what's happening? It can't be! Earthquake! This case, man. Ah! Oh my goodness! The inner temple! This kind of tremor might... The inner temple? The sacred cavern in the training hall, it might well cave in! Right? Maya! This hacking trial, man, okay. It seems to have passed. Well, we can't just stand here and do nothing. Let's go. What? Where? To the inner temple, of course. Where else? Sister Bikini, we'll finish this later, alright? Of course. You run along now. People may have been hurt. I must get some first aid kits ready. Come on then, Phoenix Wright. They won't bar you from entering as long as I'm with you. Thank you. Right at the moment, I had the worst feeling in my gut. I just had an earthquake. I wonder if he's alright. You look worried. You're thinking about Miles Edgeworth. Come on, let's go. Alright. Got hurry to the inner temple and... Right. Ah! What are you doing here? How could I have... How do you expect us to understand if you don't speak up? Oh, hey, why am I the one getting whipped? He's gone. The defendant, Iris. She's gone. On where? She fled. She escaped. What? So, it was just now during the... It's easy to see Edgeworth's one and only weakness. His fear of earthquakes. I should have known better than to escort the defendant alone. As soon as the ground started shaking, everything went dark before my eyes, and I stupidly passed out. That incident haunts you to this day, doesn't it? It's no excuse for letting the suspect get away. I can't believe I let it happen. Right, the inner temple area is a dead end, so she could have only escaped to this side. We haven't seen her. Then we need to get a manhunt underway now and search Eagle Mountain from top to bottom. Excuse me. Wait, Edgeworth. Have you thoroughly checked the inner temple yet? Don't be ridiculous. Why would I? The inner temple is like an island. There's no way to escape but to cross. No, that's not it. Iris isn't the type of person to run away, Edgeworth. What are you talking about? Sister Bikini mentioned something when we were with her. She said that the sacred cavern might have caved in because of the quake. And you think Iris might have gone to the inner temple to check on the situation? Listen, Edgeworth, I'm sure she's at the inner temple. A manhunt is not necessary, right? Let's not waste any more time. We need to get to the training hall's sacred cavern now. Alright, let's go. Very nice. Inner temple training hall. Fortunately, the sacred cavern hadn't caved in, but what we found, something none of us could have oh. Oh. How can there be even more locks? What is the meaning of this? Iris? Iris, please tell me. What the hell is going on? Alright. To be continued. Well. This continues to be a case. Alright, we're gonna save here. Yep. And there's only a half hour left, but there's no way we do whatever's coming in a half hour. That's just not gonna happen. So this is a logical point to end on, I think. And it's a logical point to end on a lot closer than it was last week. Last week we ended with more time. So this is going nuts. Cool, crazy, wonderful. I have no idea what's going on. Every time I think I know what's going on, they're like, no. So yeah. I actually haven't really made up my mind what I'm going to stream this week. I don't really know. We've had for so long such a direct focus that it's weird to have a few days before we direct focus again. I don't know. I really don't. I might do a Monster Hunter night just to have an excuse to do song requests and hunt some monsters, because that's always a good time. But the other nights, I'm not sure. Thor had floated the idea of finishing East 8. East 7. No, 8, yeah. Which is a strong idea, but I don't know. Having come from just speed finishing a bunch of games, I might just take these days as, like, chill stuff. Maybe we'll do a Path of Exile day as another, like, chill thing. If people have, like, specific... Let's say there's something I haven't streamed in a while that people want to see, let me know. I don't have a strong take on it, but I might lean into just, like, 3 random things. I don't know. There's 2 games I'd like to stream, but starting them before we're about to get hit with more stuff seems stupid. I'd like to stream Control and Alan Wake 2, but I don't think I could get either of them done in 3 streams. So I don't think that's a smart idea. And both of those games deserve being played fairly straight through, not leaving 2 or 3 months in between. So I'm not 100% sure. I'll post in the Discord to see if anybody has any big ideas. I mean, Ark was here earlier, and I'm pretty sure they have a ticket, and I have a lawnmower simulator, but I wouldn't want to do that if they weren't around and didn't ask for it, like, you know. But that's an option. Yeah. I do know that Friday, I will be playing Infinite Wealth. I do not know when I'm going to be starting Friday, because at the same day, the set of cards that I want to open with my friends on Wednesday comes out. And if my brother's going to the card store that day, I'm going with him. If we end up going to the card store, I'll start whenever I get home, plus or minus a little bit just to get ready, which tends to be about 3-ish, so figure 3:30. If we don't go to the card store, I might start as soon after work as I can. Soccer Wars, it's fine to abandon it for months. I'd have to reinstall it. I don't know if I'm going to have room, because I think Infinite Wealth's going to take a stupid amount of space, but we'll see. I did just clear up some space, though, so who knows. Yeah, that's the thing. It's a bigger download, and we're just about to have a big download. I'm not sure. As always, I don't hate the idea, but I don't know if now's the time for it. Just because I have to prioritize being able to download Infinite Wealth. But I'm not sure. I can check how much space I got. I don't think that's a terrible idea. We'll see. We'll see. For now, that's what we got. We made a good amount of progress tonight. I didn't fail. I definitely saved a lot, but we didn't, like, actually screw it up enough to the point of failing, which is nice. And yeah, normally I'd have a much better, clear idea of what we're doing the next few days, but it's basically just time until Friday. I don't want to start anything new because, obviously, but we've also just been so focused on finishing things that, like, kind of down for, like, chill stuff. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. In the meantime, we've got ourselves a monster, a quote, a disco, and an...
Objection!
Perfect. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for watching. Oh, wait, we have an extra shout out. What am I doing? We have the extra shout out to Atelier19 dropping the 67-month free subscription. Always much appreciated. Hope all's going well. And to everyone in chat, hanging out, having a good time, objecting, courtrooming, all the good news. This has been Viper of Viperland. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.